Hello, good morning. Good morning. I can hear
Good morning. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. But I cannot see Dualu.
My cameras are on. Everything is on. I don't see any one of you guys yet.
Yeah, I don't see anybody on this on the love stream. I don't see anybody on the love stream.
Correct.
Let me see.
So I see what's happening. There's a background that I need to remove.
Yeah. To everyone listening, just give us a couple of minutes. We're having some technical challenges here. We'll get them resolved here in a couple of minutes. We'll be right back.
I'm sharing it to 10,000 platforms right now. So yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
There we go.
So there we go.
Okay, there we go. Okay. Good morning once again, ladies and gentlemen, Radio Land and those on Facebook. We want to welcome you to another edition of Business Talk. My sincere apologies, along with my co-host, Rufus Divine Kane. And today, Mr. Ava Tokba is not a co-host, rather he is the one being interviewed, along with his counterpart, Mr. Dualu, the man, in quotes, the people. So we're going to be interviewing them, talking to them, discussing with them about their big new idea for Liberia's growth, development, economic prosperity, and private investment to create jobs, provide opportunities, and industrialize our country and move our country forward. Transformation is our focus. Welcome again to Business Talk. Today is March 8th, 2025. We're on Facebook on multiple platforms. We're also relaying live today from Kakata, one of the Kakata FM stations. So we're broadcasting all across upper and lower Margibi counties. And with thanks to all of the folks out there at Joy Africa Radio. We want to express our sincere thanks and appreciation to them for relaying the show on their Facebook page and through their transmitter as well. So everybody, Carrisburg, Todi, Wiala, Banga, Firestone, you name it, you're listening to the show today. So this is a big thing. This is a big event. And it's something that is going to be really, really important for all Liberians, both in the diaspora and those in Liberia as well, to listen. We're going to be talking about the Liberia Diaspora Equity Fund, the Liberia Diaspora Equity Fund, called the LDEF. So by way of introduction, I know Mr. Ava Tokpa is no stranger, but Ava, I would like for you to introduce yourself and talk about what your position is. You know, I told Dualu off before coming on. Everybody wants to know what is the LDEF and who are leading it. So start off with the who you are, and then we'll go to Mr. Dualu on who he is in LDEF as it relates to the LDEF. And then we'll dive right into what is the Liberia Diaspora Equity Fund. Okay, so let's start with the who. Who are you in LDEF?
So I'm Isaac Vatukpa Jr. I'm currently the Chief Financial Officer for Liberia Diaspora Equity Fund, nicknamed LDEF. I believe this is a very exciting opportunity for all of us. Over the years, I've always advocated for the aggregation of diaspora disposable income to invest into Liberia. I've always advocated for a critical mass of diasporans to get together, to come to Liberia and be able to participate in the economy. I've always advocated for Liberianization. Let Liberians be active participants in their own economy. We have a Liberianization policy. Initially, it was about 26 sectors that was set aside for Liberians, and I think it has been reduced to 17. And even that's within that 17, we have a whole bunch of foreigners participating in that set aside for us. Now, for those who in the diaspora, I think most of them understand affirmative action. This was supposed to be an affirmative action policy to get Liberians involved, to get them participating. Unfortunately, it has been compromised. It's not fully active. And we know for one reason or the other, businesses in Liberia, visionaries in Liberia, entrepreneurs in Liberia are not really supported. So when this whole vision of mine was kind of reinvigorated by dual infusion of the idea of the Liberia Diaspora Equity Fund, I felt it was necessary for me to be on board and participate. So I think it's a wonderful opportunity for all of us, and gladly would delve deeper into the discussion around the Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund and be able to share with people what the vision is, what the mission is, and what we expect, what we're doing now, and everything like that. So basically, it's me. From an educational background, I have an MBA in business, and I'm also a project manager since I believe 2014. I think I got my certification. It could be 2011. Sometimes when the age creeps you can forget some numbers. But yes, so I'm also kind of a serial entrepreneur. I love to invest in different things and participate with people. I feel when you have equity, when you have participation, that's when you can be more vested and make a better impact. So I think it's upon all of us to want to participate in an activity like this. So I'll turn it over to Dwalo, and probably during the discussion, more about me can evolve.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Isaac. Thank you so much. Let's go over to you, Mr. Dwalo. Who are you? And most importantly, what role do you play in LDEF, in the Liberia Diaspora Equity Fund?
Hey, Mr. Phillips, thank you so much. We appreciate your time here. And those of you who are already sharing the show, thank you very much for sharing the show. Let's come and talk about Liberia. Perhaps you will have some questions. My full name is Antu Opadwalu. This is not a new idea. Like I said, this is something they've toyed with in the past. That we've spoken about for years, about putting our resources here in the West and parts in Liberia to see how we can have some economic influence in the country. I serve as the chief executive officer of the corporation.
Okay.
Just a little big background on the corporation. This is registered and regulated here in the state of Massachusetts. Our website has additional details pertaining to this. The entire goal of this organization that I alluded to in the beginning is very simple. That we can organize here in the West, especially. That doesn't mean we are leaving people in Liberia out. In a few weeks, I want to run to Liberia very quickly and come back to be able to pull our resources in an organized way where we can select targeted investments in the country that will create jobs, position Liberian diaspora to have some influence in the country. I'm talking about not just social influence, but economic influence and other influence that's going to redirect the country towards the direction that's going to develop. So this is a collaborative effort. We've already begun. I think this is almost a month since we launched. We have begun raising money. We have sent out currently our checking account this morning. We have processed a little over $34,000 and the certificates have gone out. Initially, like I said, over $80,000 came in. but some of the money had to go back because of transfer issues, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But we are mitigating that. We just added new platforms. So we got people from across the globe. They are actually trying to send in the money. As this thing evolve, we are going to add additional platforms where people can be able to pay to come into this. Before I give it back to you, Mr. Phillips, I want to say this. We just organized the first in-person town hall meeting in Lowell, Massachusetts. You can go to Eventbrite as it stands right now, get a ticket, reserve a seat. We will try to go along the eastern seacoast as we organize more. We'll organize one in Maryland, in Philadelphia, in Providence, in Charlotte, North Carolina. Then we make our way up to the giant Minnesota, to the North Dakotas of the world. So eventually we're going to try to go across the country, but it costs money to raise money.
Okay.
That's what we are in the beginning. Yes.
Okay. Very, very, very good. Very good. So that's who. So on the show today for the Liberia Diaspora Equity Fund, we have both two very important persons in this investment fund. We have the chief executive officer, the person with the vision, the person who has the long sight, the forecast, and helping to birth this dream. And we also have the chief financial officer, who has, project management expertise, also an MBA. So we've got good people on this team, and that's important to making anything successful. So in order for this Liberia Diaspora Equity Fund to be successful, once again, we've got the chief executive officer and the chief financial officer.
Mr. Phillips, I'm so sorry.
Ahead.
Somebody just told me we didn't yet dwell on the education. I forget about it. As I said, it's not a big deal. Okay. I have an undergraduate in finance and economics, a graduate certificate in financial markets and institution. I also do have an MBA in strategy and innovation as well. And I've worked in finance for the last 20 plus years. Yes.
Very good. Very good. Okay. So there you have it. So you've got two people who are money managers, right? MBAs. They understand exactly how to not only drive the car, but plot a good direction for the future. And that's what you have in the Liberia Diaspora Equity Fund. This is a fund. So now that we see the chief executive officer, then we have the chief financial officer. Now we know their backgrounds. Now we understand that they have good world experience working in one of the most industrialized nations in the world, applying their education, producing results. Now they're motivated to put together a private capital instrument to bring investments into Liberia. So let's talk about the what. So let's go to the what. Now we know the who's leading this. Let's go to the what. So Dwalu and Alva, tell the people of Liberia. You've got thousands of people across the world, USA, Canada, Europe, diasporans. You've got folks in the US. You've got Liberians across Monrovia and across upper and lower Margibi counties, and also probably into Bong County listening today. Small business people. This show is all about small business. It's all about Liberian business, the engine of Liberia's economy, business, the private sector. And as you mentioned, and Alva, we've been talking about this on the show, what hinders Liberian businesses to prevent them from growing is capitalization.
Correct.
Capitalization is the biggest issue. Liberians would tell you, they go to the bank, they can't get it. And then other people go to the bank, they get it. So tell us what brought about this. What is the Liberia Diaspora Equity Fund? Tell us. Let everybody listen and understand what this is.
So the audience is not new. This is not new. As I spoke to this briefly, a lot of Liberians have attempted this. We've all spoken about this or had an idea to do this, but most people have not done it. Now, this is what pushed this, and that's the reason why I'm going to tell you this. Over the last maybe 15 years, I have done business in the country, in Liberia. And what I've noticed in Liberia, and you said that, Mr. Phillips, is the issue of lack of access to capital in the country. And most Liberians do not really have the resources individually to go into Liberia and have a real impact in Riverside or real impact in Nima County, for example. Most of the so-called money people perhaps we have in the country, they're attached to government in some fashion. And if you look to every country that has developed, there is a mass influx of private capital that come to that country, and people leverage that capital to be able to invest into something worthwhile, to create jobs, and to some extent expand the economy. So this idea is not new. So the whole thing was, and I spoke about this maybe for 2 years before we actually launched this thing, was how can we pull our resources, I say, for example, where we form something here in the West, and then we organized, make sure it is scrutinized here in the West, for instance, on US regulations, but with the sole intent to invest in Liberia to give it some credibility, so to speak. So this is how the idea was birthed. Now, the entire intention of this idea is to have Liberians say, you know what, Ron? Man, one can go to Liberia with my $20,000. 90% or probably more Liberians that have $20,000, $30,000 that go to Liberia, they tend to fail in business, not because they don't know how to run business sometimes, but because they are not permanently domiciled in the country, Mr. Phillips. The corporation is going to spin that on its head because the quota officers, myself, I say we will literally be living in the country if we are fortunate to raise this money to effectuate the kind of change that we're talking about. So, for instance, if we decide to take up a venture that will be voted upon by the shareholders, and I say myself and all the quota officers say, listen, let's invest in the rest mechanization. We are not going to be sitting in Maryland or in Massachusetts. We are going to literally be in Monrovia, in Banga, in Zweidru to run the operation to ensure it's a see. So the entire idea, pull our resources, stretch your resources, and build a corporation that's going to help develop the private sector in Liberia.
Very good. Ava, what do you have to add to that? What is this? Let's give, again, I'm looking at the comments here. We've got people all the way, someone's listening all the way from Sestos Tower in Riverside County. Yeah. I've got people putting
shout out to Cisco.
So small Liberian business. I mean, we talk about this every week, every Saturday. The engine of, as you know, Dualu and Ava, the engine of the U.S. economy, as big as it is small business. So Liberia, as small as we are, what's going to be our engine of growth? The small business. But again, access to capital. So Ava, let's go deeper on this. What is it? Give people, small business people, some confidence that help is on the way. Let me just inject this. Like Dualu said, so many people have talked about this. This is not a new idea. This is an old idea. But the difference here that I see is that, you guys, Dualu as the chief executive officer, Ava as the chief financial officer, and the other leaders that make up the other persons that make up the leadership have decided to go from talking to actual acting, to getting
Correct.
things done, to move the needle, to produce results, to get things done. Okay, so Liberian businesses on the ground can now set their expectations that indeed help is on the way. Ava, go deeper and let people get more confidence on what is the Liberia Diaspora Investment Fund. Go ahead, Ava. Ava, you're on mute.
Yeah. Typically, when Liberians try to get into businesses, sometimes they get locked up for multiplicity of reasons, right? It could be, let's say, a Liberian from here spends $20,000, get a container or whatever kind of product, smoked fish on the ground. The people who sell smoked fish there, and most times is either the Lebanese, the Indian, or somebody else, right? They got people in the port who know what's coming through. They will hit them up, right? And then they will adjust in terms of their pricing, sometimes to undermine that person, or they will make it difficult to even get the product out of the port, right? And then sometimes that person is on the clock with their finance, with their own time, because most times some people leave from here actually to get there in time to clear the containers. So basically, they sabotage, Liberians entering the market. They do it with cement, they will do it with rice, they will do it with anything, because they want to maintain that edge, that ownership of our economy, right? And for me personally, I don't have a problem with other people being in our economy and participating. I have a problem with our own exclusion and being deprived of the opportunity. So that's one challenge there, being able, and then they have the bonded warehouses out there. When they get there, they have the opportunity, being that the warehouse is bonded and is noted what they bring in, they don't have to pay right there. They can come out, sell the products, raise the capital, and hopefully pay, because I don't know, that whole process has been audited to know for sure whether we're getting the benefit of the bond and the privilege that people who are using bonded warehouses are getting. That's one of the reasons why I was excited about the inland
yes,
storage facility with Peter Malcolm King. That will be a huge opportunity for Liberian businesses, and I hope they can explore the platform he has. Okay, so that's one of the things. But more important than other people depriving us is, how do we enter this market? How can we be sustainable? How, if we are let's say being shut out, how can we hold ground and be resilient? And most times it comes from the opportunity of having that capital to be able to sustain, to be able to hold. And then when a significant number of people are a part of this, most likely will do businesses that they can participate in themselves, right? So I'll give you an example. Right now I'm in the National Cassava Sector chat room, and I'm being a devil's advocate. Because most times people blame government. Yes, the expectation is there for government to facilitate. But over the years, we have governments that have not responded to its own citizens, its own private sector. Then citizens have to mobilize themselves and participate in that effort. And then the other part is our generation, my generation. I keep challenging them. What have we done to give back to Liberia? Yes, the war came, it destroyed many families, it affected us emotionally. Many of us still suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, whatever, because of the love for Liberia. But it's still our country. Our generation is one of the most educated generation. What have we given back? And it's also time for retirement. If you ask most Liberians in America, they don't want to retire in America into a home, because most likely that what it will be, they cannot be a perpetual burden on their children, because of all the things that happen when you get older. I was lucky with my mom. She lived up to 94, and she lived with us because she was lucky to have her faculty for most of the time, except for the last couple of years, and she was physically fit. So those people who don't drink, who don't smoke, congratulations, because that way it leads to you stay more fit. If you don't smoke, you don't drink, especially as you age. So, so those are all some of the factors, right? So where I personally see Liberia Diaspora and Equity Fund as is a platform, it's a community, it's an opportunity for Liberians to mobilize resources from the diaspora and other stakeholders. Because once we start to build, there will be other interests that will come and say, "What are you guys doing? How are you doing it? What can you do?
How can we be a part of it?" Yes.
How can we be a part of it? And the idea is for us to fund bankable projects. When I say bankable projects, I mean projects that can return the investment that people put in, not projects that will lose money, projects that people can see upfront and say, "Oh yeah, the project will make money. This is viable. This is sustainable." So because we've got to protect the resources coming, otherwise, if we fail in this effort, it will be unlikely for Liberians to entrust other Liberians to be able to do something like this again.
I agree.
So there are other Liberians who have been thinking the same thing. But one second before I go, like I was talking about in the chat room, pushing people, there are businesses ready to be, elevated to scale up. And we're lucky. We have a couple of young people now who are volunteering, who are going to do something called a venture studio pilot project, where we identify some businesses across different sectors and start to coach them out, start to strengthen the internal processes. And by the time in our 2 years at when we raise the funds to be ready to invest, they can participate and be a part of this process. We can invest into Liberian businesses and be partners. Many of Liberian businesses, when you talk to them first, we need help from government or NGO. We need help from international community. But let Liberians now try to take that load off the international community, especially with the craziness Trump is doing, invest in these Liberian businesses.
Okay, very good, very good point. So now everyone listening, now everyone has an understanding, a better level of enlightenment, and a little bit more knowledge as to who's leading this, Mr. Dualu and Mr. Abatokba. Isaac Vatokba here, Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Tualu, Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Isaac Vatokba. Now we know what it is. This is the diaspora's attempt. This is a vision. This is a well-calculated, a well-planned, a well-strategized, and a well-directed and a well-intentioned vision to bring private capital that diasporans can raise in the U.S., in Europe, wherever it is you choose to want to invest in this vehicle. I call it a vehicle. This is going to be a major train or bus or whatever you want to call it that will accommodate a tremendous amount of investors, as well as support, fund, and empower a lot of local Liberian businesses all across our landscape, so that we can truly, as Rava said, the chief and the CFO said, to play a meaningful role in our economy, to industrialize, to empower Liberians, to create local jobs, to improve the state of living for people from the private sector perspective. Okay, in the words of JFK, and Valuno, ask not what your country can do for you, but the question on the table is, what can you do for the country? And this is the diasporans through this Liberia, the LDEF. We'll call it the LDEF. So write it down, everybody who's listening. LDEF means Liberia Diaspora Equity Fund. This is going to be a financial vehicle funded by Liberians in the diaspora, led by the Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Dualu, led also by the CFO, the two person, one with the vision and one helping with the navigation. Both people with MBAs, finance expertise, understand what it takes and what is needed to produce results with this funding that comes. So now we know what it is. So Liberian businesses all across Liberia, those who are on Facebook and those who are in the US and those who are on the ground, who are listening, help is on the way. Now we know what it is. Let's go to the next thing. So now we know, as Dualu said, it is domiciled. The company is established, set up as a U.S. company, right, in the state of Massachusetts. So it's fully regulated. It's legal. This is not a scheme. This is not a 419 in any way, shape, or form. This is a legitimate U.S. entity led, spearheaded, directed, empowered by Liberians who are naturalized U.S. citizens, diasporans who are coming to make a major impact in the local Liberian sector with private capital. They're raising private capital from the diasporans to inject. Now, one of the things Ava and myself always talk about on this show, Business Talk, remittance dollars into Liberia is $800 million plus. $800 million plus. So to everybody who's listening, Liberians in the diaspora, be it USA, Canada, Europe, we fund, we push, we direct, we send into Liberia $800 million plus every year. So with this Liberian, with the LDEF, right, Liberia Diaspora Equity Fund, just imagine, people, if we can just get 10% of that 80 million, of that $800 million, that's $80 million. Even if we get 5% of that money, that's $40 million. So, so from my perspective as a business development specialist, right, I'm saying the money is already there. Yeah. The money is already there. Be it from Canada, the EU countries, the US, Liberians in the diaspora, we're already sending this money home. But the question now that everybody needs to stand back and ask themselves in the diaspora, what are the results of all of this money that we're sending home? We're misplaced in the economy, as Ava said, and as you know. So those who are the recipients, Ava and myself did a show all about this. How many times are the Liberian businesses touching the remittance money? The expats are pulling this money out of Liberia, and they're moving the money out. There's capital flight. So the Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund is a major way where this remittance dollars can go to the fund, and the fund will now be able to channel this money directly into local Liberian businesses on the ground to empower Liberians to play a meaningful role in every county, every political subdivision across this country. So let's talk about the next thing, Ava. So how is this thing supposed to work? let's educate, let's enlighten, let's bring some knowledge to Liberians, both in the diaspora and those on the ground who are in small businesses, who are supposed to be the recipients, the benefactors of all of this. Now, before you go in Dwalo Ava, let's give the website, right? Let's give the website. You can put it on the screen there, Ava, since you had the control this morning. Let's put the website for the Liberia Diaspora Equity Fund on there so everybody can see what the website looked like. I'll put it on the chat group, put it on your Facebook page. So for those who don't know about it, can go to the website, get more information from it, and understand more about it. They can spend their time after the show reading about what the LDEF is, okay? So now we know where the LDEF is based in the U.S. So what are your plans now when you get on the ground? Is the LDEF going to have an office in Monrovia, one, which is the capital of Liberia?
Let's move on. Let's move
go
on.
ahead. Okay.
Because there's a lot of questions that are being asked. Okay, my brother, let's answer some of those questions live. My brother, if somebody buys a share from LDEF, in the package that is sent to you, it comes with a prospectus and it comes with a contract agreement. So they are both in the package. So we are not just sending you something blindly. There is a contract attached as to the speculation. As to the guidelines as it relates to share purchase. So everything is packaged, everything is legal. We're not just going to send you something blindly. I will encourage you to call, my brother, to ask those questions. Any question you have to ask those questions. And our goal here today is to provide clarity that Mr. Philip just said. But you ask a question. The question is very important, but I don't want to forget something as he said, and I want to stretch out a little bit. It's about collective resources. You ask a question. We send close to $600 million into the country every single year. And I'll say, I think you got the number, LDEF number. If you can put out that to this, it will be great. That's the 774-578-1963. So people can, when time to call, so they'll be able to call in. We send this money into the country. The money is not organized. We send the money to our cousins, to our wives, to our sisters, brothers, etc. The money is not organized. What LDEF is trying to do is to organize this money and channel this money in a targeted way that it produces results in Nima County. Enterprise. We channel the money in a way that produces results to the Grand Bassa County, to the enterprise. We are going to invest in a flour mill, for example. As he spoke about the warehousing issue in the country, it's a major issue. Maybe we invest into warehousing across the country for our goods to be stored properly for export, for example. The LDEF intention is to start small-scale manufacturing in the country, not blindly. These will be targeted decisions made and brought to the shareholders to vote upon. Let's assume, for example, how this is going to work. This is your first question. I will answer that question. Very good. The way it's going to work, the goal is to raise $25 million initially. We believe, and like you just referred stated, the money is there. This is not the argument because we know the Liberians have the money. In fact,
that's exactly right.
The pitch I've been pushing forward is this. I want each person in the diaspora, man, woman, and child, to invest a minimum of 10 shares. That's $1,000. A minimum of 10 shares. If you can afford more, please do more. Some people are buying 20 shares, 30 shares. But the goal is a minimum of 10 shares. If we just get 10 shares per person, man, woman, and child, and we invest into the corporation, we can take that money now. We can go into Liberia, and yes, we're going to build a headquarters in the country. In fact, part of this vision is to literally build the first small, even if it's a $10 million skyscraper in the country, it would be called the Liberian Diaspora headquarters in the country. This is part of the vision because we want to bring a different kind of mindset into the country.
Mindset. It's the mindset. It's the mindset.
The mindset is very important. So, yes, we're going to invest into the country in targeted markets that's going to grow the Liberian economy. But this is not going to be done blindly. This will be something that we all can buttress. And I'm going to have Fatima come in to introduce herself as well and who she is. So I'll stop right here.
Yeah, so Fatima, good morning. Good morning to you. Thank you for joining the show. You came in at the right point, at the right time. It's always good to see Fatima on here on this day. Why? Because it's one day after International Women's Day, right? She's the only lady on the platform. So Fatima, please introduce yourself and the role you play in the LDEF organization So at least everyone listening, as I said earlier, we're on Facebook, and we're also being relayed out of Joy Africa FM in Kakata. So everyone from Bon County South is listening to the show. Go ahead, Fatima. Let us know who you are, then the role you play in LDEF. Thank you.
So I'm sure that most of our Liberian people are aware that my name is Fatima Bintu Sirleaf. I'm the only woman right now on the LDEF. This organization is an organization where we try to promote the Liberianization process to ensure that Liberians are in charge of their own economy. We're trying our hardest to ensure that it's not all the foreigners coming in our country don't take over our country. We want ourselves to be the one in charge and driving our own economy. And how can we do this? With a collective effort, okay? We have these shares that we are selling to Liberians. I mean, who all walks of life. You're encouraged to buy shares because at the end of the day, you'll be part of history. That you join the LDEF to ensure that Liberians were put to work. Like Dwalu was saying, and I was listening while I was in the back. For us to have the first skyscraper in Liberia built by the LDEF, do you know what that means? Most of the funds that is in our country comes from who? From us in the diaspora. We work hard. We ensure that our people have every person in this country send money back home to their people. So we're encouraging everyone to join us for this great, great endeavor to ensure that we are all contributing to our own country's success and we are part of the development of our nation. So I'm encouraged by this. I'm sorry that I came late. You know, it's Ramadan. I woke up very late.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Saturdays and Sunday, I do not work, so I sleep all morning. But, you know, when Dwalu sent me, I had to rush and just get ready and come on. Yeah. But I'm encouraging all Liberians from all walks of life to join this endeavor. This is something that you'll be proud of. We're here to make it happen. It's not about Dwalu or Arva or myself or even Elkanah. It's about Liberia. For us, we are putting our country first. So we're asking everybody, all my family members, and Dwalu, it's safe to say all my family members are asking me, and what we decided to do when I get to Monrovia, all of them asking me if we can collect actual money. They don't know how to get the money back and forth. So I've decided that when we get to Monrovia, we'll open an account over there and we'll collect hard cash. The shares, if we are encouraging each person, even if it's 10 shares, at least 10 shares to buy for you to start with this great endeavor will be encouraging. So thank you.
Okay, let me just jump in for a second. Hold on. Let me
go ahead, Alba. Go ahead, Alba. Go ahead.
And you mentioned, you said even people from Riverside were watching. But I just want to give a shout out to Mr. Peter Wilson. He's from my perspective, our first investor from Liberia. Peter has invested. Peter, your certificate is coming to you very soon. The next person coming, who I know, will be bringing your certificate on the ground. So shout out to Peter Wilson of Riverside County. I believe he used to be a district education officer. He sees the vision, he shares it with us, and he has invested in LDEF. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, one of the I think everyone listening, okay, all small Liberian businesses, big Liberian businesses, those in the diaspora who are listening. One of the things we try, where Liberia is today, okay, we need economic transformation. We need our economy to drive change. That's just the reality. Yeah. If we're looking for political transformation, we need to energize, initiate, and push that through economics. And the only way the economics can transform the politics is with what? With private capital. Private capital moves faster. Private capital is effective. Private capital is driven by what? By profitability and efficiency. Yeah. Okay. So, I want everyone in the diaspora, USA, Canada, the EU, who's listening to the show today. If you think $1,000 to invest in the LDEF is too high, let me prove the point. Take your phone, open your SendWave, and go and look at your history for the past 2 months or 3 months. and ask yourself and see how much you've sent back to Liberia. And then ask yourself, what is the return on all of that money that you sent to Liberia? That's the best way to gauge it. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Dwalu, Fatima, or Ava. Okay, just take your smartphone, look at your SendWave app, open it up, look at your history, and you will see how much money you sent. So we're already sending the money. And what Mr. Dwalu said is that the money is not structured, the money is not directed, it's not focused, it's being disbursed. It's being disbursed. So, and because it is being disbursed, it is to our disadvantage. And when there's a disadvantage, somebody else has the advantage.
Mr. Philip,
go ahead.
I'm so sorry, because one of the reasons why we are on the show today is for people to get full clarity on how this thing works. And my brother Desmond Khaled, and I know you're asking some questions. Let me answer some of your questions. You just keep raising this point, raising the money. There needs to be better structure and legality. Let me explain what you're asking, because all of those currently exist. There is legality. This is a registered incorporated business in the United States. I posted the legal documents. You can go to the website. There are legal documents there. We got tax. We register with all the corporation entities. All of those are documented. If you want those files, those can come to you. Number one, the structure, the money does not come to Dwalu. The money goes into a trust. We are raising this money. Our intent is not to touch the money until we raise the $25 million, or until 1 year is over, or maybe 2 years if we have to raise the money within that time span. When you buy the certificate, we sent you a prospectus. We sent you a share purchase agreement in your package. Everybody who's gotten this, we shipped out close to 70 different certificates around the country and around the globe so far. And today I will spend another 6 hours printing out certificate and preparing them to ship out. So this is an organization. Think about any corporation in America. This is the same structure that we have. So the structure does exist. And I want you to understand that. And I will encourage you, go on the website or call the show today and ask those questions. Let's provide the clarity.
Okay. The other thing is this, right? I want to stress something. We in order for the Liberia Diaspora Equity Fund to succeed, in Liberia, one of the most important things that we Liberians have to do is to transform our minds.
Correct.
This is where the blockage sits. The blockage sits in our mind, because this is such a positive thing. But the challenge is, we Liberians, we need to free our minds from the fact that it is being driven, it is being led, it is being directed. It was a vision of Liberians. We need to transform and renew our minds, that we Liberians can produce transformation. Because if we don't do that, then what we're doing is we're about to abort, to kill, and to destroy something that is so good. But however, we would kill that which we created and then embrace something that a stranger created. So what, I need to emphasize this. Because this is what hinders, this is what blocks, this is what has stopped us from truly moving to the next level. I don't want to compare us to other countries, but we all know, we Liberians, we're already sending home this money. And we all know that we're not getting the results that we need for economic transformation in the country. So in order for us to do that, it is better for us to channel this money through an institution that is fully registered. Do your due diligence. Pick up the phone and call. Go to the website. Call. You do what it is you need to do, but don't be negative, because negative energy does not do anything about building or elevating. It only destroys, it distracts, it ruptures, it aborts, and it kills. We need positive energy to drive this thing.
Absolutely.
That's what we need, because, like Dwalu and I were talking about, okay? Dwalu, and Fatima, can you please tell us what your position is? Because we know Dwalu is the CEO. We know that Azeva is the chief financial officer. Can you please tell us what your position is, so that everybody who's listening can understand that the pilot, the co-pilot, and the navigator of the LDEF, they're people who are competent, able, knowledgeable, they have the expertise to drive and to get us to where we need to be for economic transformation in this glorious land of liberty. Go ahead, Fatima.
Well, as I was saying, the only woman actually for now on board, and I am actually a member of the LDEF, and we're trying to generate resources to ensure that our organization is firm. We're looking for major investors to come in because number one, I keep hearing people the Wheeler market and all of this. We're just trying to elevate it. We're not undermining any of those things. We're trying to elevate it. For Chinese men to come to Liberia and take over our country and be mining black sand. For Indian men to come and open local pharmacy. What made you think say Alpha I can open local pharmacy? What made you think say Dwalu can go and because let me tell you, because Dwalu is a Liberian born there and his navel strings are buried there, guess what? He will not take black sand and make sure our coastal lines are damaged for the future. Because if you take all our black sand, Dwalu will do something with Liberia that will bring back to Liberians that will benefit our people. Amen. So what may you think if you put all the I see Lebanese boys, why you think Lebanese boys will leave from where in Lebanon and come to Liberia? Because they got a free ride there. But your own Liberians, your own people, who we were trying our hardest to ensure that we all get something. Why should we import wheelbarrow when Dwalu able to bring wheelbarrow factory in Liberia for us to make our
simple?
Why? Why should we be importing soap when Avad, Dwalu, and Fatima can get together, open soap industry where can create thousands of jobs? Why should we be rubber bowl, rubber dishes, tissue? Why should we be importing things that we are able to make in Liberia?
Thank you.
This is the idea.
This
is what we're working towards, my people.
And by the way, Fatima is a chief operating officer.
Okay, the CEO, the COO herself. I can hear it. I can hear it. I can feel it in her voice. She is truly the person.
You know, you minimize my Omi Ajay here to support my two brothers.
No, it's not.
No. I'm here to support my two brothers because let me tell you something. When Ava and Dwalu got to my attention, I realized that these men have always been heroes to me. I've always considered Ava. I knew him way back in the days when Peter was a little boy. Then Dwalu, I don't know how I feel about Dwalu.
Mama Julia, they will give you a gift.
So when they came to me and they told me that Fatu, I said Dwalu asked me one day, they said, why should we import wheelbarrow when we able to bring wheelbarrow factory in our own country? I had to sit back, almost fell out of the chair. Then I see all the things that I've working on in Liberia, and nothing that you do in Liberia is a small thing. No. Even the Wheeler market, when people start opening Wheeler market, we can be thinking, what can I do the person selling? But go low, 2-3 days, 2-3 years, that person not build mansion, that person
that's exactly right.
Their children. Because business pays. And for us to bring foreigners, you know the part that hurts me, I have a little story that I have to share. One time I went, there was a mall to, I think, there's a little Chinese mall in Liberia. This girl was walking. She had, they let to show that said how they beat him bare. The perfume then was sitting in her bed. Hit one of the perfume fell. Then when that Chinese man jacked that girl up in Liberia, you ever to go to China and jack up Chinese girl when she made mistake and bust perfume? Because in our country they won't be bosses over us. The prophet is not respected in our own home, but we are trying to encourage you that my people, this is like our country, Liberia. We sit in America, but our navel strings are buried in Liberia. We all want to retire in our country. And what do we want to do? We're tired seeing our people there. You know what? We don't want to give people fish every day to make pepper soup. We want to teach them how to make their own, go in the river, catch your own fish. We got a big Atlantic Ocean. Yeah. All the boys then from across the street from Lone Star sold the rice to other people to come fish in there. We want our own Liberian people to fish in their own Atlantic Ocean. That's what we want to do. We want to empower our people.
So, very good. Let's go to the next thing. I want to ask,
before we go, can I share something to your point earlier? Can I share something?
Go ahead, Ava. Go right ahead.
Okay, so folks, this is personal, right? But I wanted to share it just to show The only reason why I haven't sent Sendwave in the last 2 weeks is because when I was in Liberia, I lost my wallet, and I'm in the process of getting my, cards back. My
Cards
bank
back.
card got to cancel. I don't know.
Of course.
But look at the transactions.
Yes.
70. I can tell you the date. $75. Well, February 27. February 26, $20. February 24, $150. February 22nd, $400. February 19, $450. February 18, $100. February 17, $450. All those transactions were only in 1 month. If you look at the bottom, I think the other thing blocking you up. But let me move it so you can see what's at the bottom.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. I'll beg you.
That's okay. And all almost is consistent like this across.
That's what I said.
Is consistent.
That's exactly right.
It's consistent.
That's what I said. So this is not new money. The money is already there.
Yeah.
The money is already there. And this is the proof. The proof is that we're sending this money. Every Liberian listening today, every Liberian watching this show today, in the diaspora, USA, Canada, EU, who are using whether you're using Western Union or MoneyGram or you're using Sendwave, this is our history. This is our trend. And this trend is a dangerous trend because we're not getting any economic transformation that is leading to the upliftment and the transformation in our society across the country. There are those who are benefiting. There you go.
77,520. So that just one simple person, you just multiply that by the amount of people who sending money, and you will understand the volume of money that we actually send to Liberia.
That's exactly
For whatever reason, we are sending significant dollars to Liberia. If we are honest, like he said, 5%, 10% of that, 800 million, we can start to represent ourselves in our economy. So, folks, it's not just about the names or individuals involved. It's about the future of Liberia and how we can actually actively participate and benefit. We have built no capital to really be involved in the mining sector.
That's exactly right.
Look, they take 7-10 tons of gold out of Liberia worth 500 million. That only one company worth about 500 million.
1 year.
Okay? 1 year's time. Iron ore, the same thing I did a post just the other day. Iron ore. I believe they have found a huge deposit of iron ore again. Metal Steel is probably going to be exporting nearly 20 million tons very soon.
Almost doubling
of process.
More than doubling the current production.
And what they would be exporting will not
be
exported
raw.
No.
Yes,
no.
Raw.
No.
No value
Mittal. No. Mittal is now building a 21 megawatt HFO power plant in Buchanan. And they're building a 73 or 75 megawatt power plant HFO that they will bring in and haul by train. They have their own license from the LERC as a self-energy producer. So they will be industrializing their mining sector to transform and do value addition to the iron ore for pelletization.
Yeah, it's
for pelletization.
Mr.
But the thing is, I'm coming to one. Let me not digress. Let's stay on the LDEF. So my question to the Chief Operating Officer, the CEO, and the CFO: what is your strategic plan to decentralize the LDEF so that every political subdivision in this country can be affected in a positive way for economic transformation, to empower the business community in Maryland County, Riverside, Sino, Grand Cru, Lofa, Bomi, Bapolu, Cape Mount? What is the master plan and strategy on that? Okay, so that those who are listening can see that. Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Philip, this is a brilliant question, but one of my things I love to do when I come to work, as people make certain points, it's important because if we don't clear these points up, sometimes it just leave in the wind. The price of this, the share has never changed since the beginning. It's always been $90 and a $10 processing fee. Mr. Pade, you're wrong again. And number two, if you went to the website, we have an entire strategy page. You can read through the strategy, address Maryland County? How are we going to address Kidman County?
Very
The
good.
is to capitalize on the region and what the region is good at. For instance, if we
Yes.
went into my beloved Kidman, we
Very
know
good.
that's
That's
along the coast, for example, and we know the
Mhm.
access to Monrovia. Maybe the fishing industry that we decide to launch, maybe we launch that fishing industry out of Kidman. Now, if we look to Nima County, for example, we see, well,
There you
Nima
go.
region is an agricultural region or it's a liquor production region, for example. Maybe
Yeah.
in Nima
Mhm.
County, we put a plant out there that focuses on agriculture heavily between Nima and Bon County. Maybe we'll go to the southeastern region of the country. We got coconut oil production. Maybe out of Bummy, we start a wheelbarrow factory or the seamstress business. So we will target the investment based on the output of these locations. So we intend to divide the country into zones, and we'll call them economic zones. So
There you go.
Moserado County is more prone towards small-scale manufacturing or the flower industry. Maybe we'll put that near Moserado County because it has the highest population in the country. So everything is on the
Okay.
and Mr. Bade, I encourage you to read the strategic page. Everything pertaining to the corporation is not going to be published on the website. But we have the vision, we have the mission, we have the breakdown, we have the strategy, we have the perspective, we have the legal documents. What more do you want on the website to say there's nothing on the website? We have Fatima picture on the website. Do you want more?
No. Again, Dwalu. The thing is, let's drive positive energy so that the LDEF
Yeah,
can
I
get
agree.
off the ground and gain altitude.
I agree.
You know, those who miss the bus, one thing I've learned as a business development specialist, as an engineer as well, is that there will be those who will sit on the sidelines.
Yeah.
That's automatic. There will be those who are negative, and that's fine. You need devil advocates, okay? Because sometimes devil advocates, they can become the motivating factor for you to drive and move.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So those people, okay, through my career, they are necessary. They are required in this process because this is something that is so big that you cannot expect to go and fight a Goliath, okay? And the Goliath that we're fighting here is the mindset of our people.
Correct.
Okay. And in order for us to overcome this mindset, to get people off the sidelines, for them to become engaged, is to what? Is to produce results. Once we start producing results and start transforming, okay, like you just laid out, the website is there. Go to the website. I'm sure you have an FAQ page, frequently
Correct.
asked questions.
Correct.
Everything is there.
Yeah.
So today, what we're trying to do is to educate, to inform, to enlighten, and to bring to a public viewing what the LDEF is, how it works, and how it will benefit the economic transformation and the industrialization of our country, right? Through diaspora investments, which is a positive thing. This is something positive. So again, I like the way you just laid out that strategic plan as to how the LDEF will actively engage in the various political subdivisions of the county. So no county feud like they're left out.
Correct.
Before the show, you and I were talking about something, and then something else just came to my mind. Ava or Fatima, CFO or COO and CEO, speak to this. How can the Liberian diaspora, from the perspective where, as you know, in the U.S., every county, every tribe, every high school, every college, every, you name it, has some association in this country, from California to Florida, from Texas to Canada. There's a Gribble Association. There's a Maryland County Association. There's a Sapo Association. There's a Crew Association. There's a Fulai Association. So how can the LDEF, when I use the word exploit, I'm using it in a very positive way. How can the LDEF exploit these organizations, right? Because we all know that these organizations have their own savings or community funds. And how can the LDEF convince or encourage these organizations to invest in the LDEF so that the LDEF would then be able to make impactful investment in their county? Go ahead. Fatima, CEO, Ava, yes.
So,
go ahead.
So, these organizations, they have a lot of activities going on themselves. Additionally, Dwalu said it, we're going to do a tour. We're going to get around the country, engage people. And sometimes for us, it's about that personal engagement that we can get people. They want to know you know them. They want to know they're giving their money to you, and you recognize that they are part of what you're trying to do. Some people know us, but we don't know them. And this will be an opportunity for more people to get to know us as we engage them. Specifically for all these, look, they got the county associations, they got the tribal associations, they got some sectional associations, some development organizations. We plan to engage all of those. We are actually collecting the data on them now to find who the leader, who are the people, so we can reach out to them. They are very critical in this. And you're right. We've always talked about how do we get small businesses, more activity in the county. You go in most counties, you see people just sitting around doing nothing. But there's an opportunity for a functional, viable business to be implemented there. We can't wait for other people to see the vision in our, outlying counties to come there and do business before we say, oh, we won't catch up with it. No, it's about time that we start. Whether we start with one store, whether we start with, or service that the people need in that party, because it has to be localized. You can't just go dump anything in any kind of county. You got to understand the market environment. You got to understand what the people need, and then how you can provide that service to them. So that's why when we talk about the incubation, we talk about, trying to scale up some businesses and prepare them for that scalability. That's what we're talking about, because we got to know the particular sector. We got to understand it. So this would take work. We have done a lot of groundwork already. We got some templates in terms of, some businesses that we're looking to get into. Agriculture is a primary business. The tourism sector, hospitality is a primary target. The fisheries that Dwalu talked about is a primary target. But we got to make sure that our investors are comfortable with each of these different opportunities that we're trying to put money into. Another area I talk about agriculture, but finished products coming back. Just imagine I think the value of the ethnic food in America today is about $14 billion, right?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. I was being an advocate in the chat room with these cassava people. So the people who doing super gari or these different farina mix or the cassava.
Please put the website up. People are asking for the website. Please put the website up. And to everyone who's listening, before Ava is doing that, on the show today, we have Mr. Dwalu, who is the Chief Executive Officer of LDEF. We have Mr. Isaac Tokba, who is the Chief Financial Officer of LDEF. And we have Madam Fatima Bintu Salif, who is the Chief Operations Officer of LDEF. So the key leadership, when you're boarding your plane and you enter in the door, you look to your left. The guy, you see the pilot, you see the co-pilot, and you see the navigator. Those are the guys who run the plane down the runway, take it up, and get you to where you have to go. These are the three people: the pilot, the co-pilot, and the navigator. Okay, so you got everybody who's going to get the LDEF to transform Liberia on the show today. Go ahead, Ava.
Yeah, I'm going to say, before I go to that, I just wanted to share this other screen. Somebody send me their own
Sendwave. Thank you. We appreciate that.
It's very impressive.
Yeah.
I was sending money. Way more money.
So it made you feel better, right?
It made me feel good. It made me feel another one, right?
Oh, okay.
This is the truth. This is the truth. Why are you doing that? And like I said, Dwalu, again, I'm a business development specialist. Who happens to be
so you understand this.
I understand this.
Yeah.
The money is already here. This is not new money.
The money is here.
The money is here. If we can just harness 1%, 2%, 5% of this $800 million in remittance that we
organize it. This is the goal.
Yeah, collectively are sending in an unorganized way. Yeah. If we can harness this with this vision, the financial genius of Ava and the operations genius of Madam Fatou Bintu Salifi on the ground, just imagine what we can do. We can transform every political subdivision in this country, create jobs, thousands of new jobs, create opportunity, elevate, transform people's life. Go ahead, Ava. Go ahead.
So I don't know why the piece.
Yeah, but we saw it. I say,
We
look,
saw it.
everybody gets it.
Okay.
There's
All right.
it's a big deal. But look, I say mention something.
No, but I'm just impressed with that. What do you call it?
Almost everybody's saying with MoneyGram and Western Union. It's like that.
Yeah, so they
It's like
just
that.
same way.
That's
You're
exactly
right.
yes.
I didn't even include MoneyGram or what the other one is.
Or Western Union.
There's so money. How do you pay my employee? There's so money. I don't send a paycheck. Imagine paying 12
I said mine this morning.
So let me say this. I said mention something about the foods in this country.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, I live in a house. So I use my own house as an example. My 3 kids, my wife, and myself. Right? If we won't cook cassava in the house here, I don't know how my wife. I got no idea, but I know it will cost us maybe 3-4 pack of cassava just to cook in cassava. Not cheap. I think my own cassava in a pack.
Right now in New Jersey, they want that. They're not pack. They can make it in plastic. Right now in New Jersey, one plastic is $7.
So the cold plastic for food, because I don't want their food now, the whole wheat food. That means you will buy almost $100 worth of cassava to be able to cook food for 5 people. This is the point I'm trying to make. What we don't realize is we have an agreement with the Americans and most European countries. If we can set a standard in Liberia, food management standard, yes, you know what it is, and we can process the cassava in Liberia with a small factory, we package it, we freeze them, we can send them to the Jersey market. We can send them to Philadelphia market. So now
there will be all thinkers.
Thank you. We created thousands of jobs in Ima, in Bon County, in Margibi. So anybody who plant cassava, for example, yes, those numbers that I was running, I had a bunch of guys in Liberia were trying to run an operation with the Chinese. They wanted to buy the cassava from us. This is a very basic model we came up with. If you plant cassava on one lot of land in Liberia, just one lot, and if you're yielding at 40%, on that one lot, not more than 40%, at 40% on that one lot, you can get anywhere from $200 to $300 every single 3 months just from one lot of land for cassava at 40% yield.
They multiply that now.
That you quantify that. So if we build a warehouse strategically across the country and we are willing to buy this cassava from the people, the Chinese are willing to have the market. And I keep telling people we can buy a small mid-size container ship, use one. It costs $5 to $10 million for one of those. You put it on a conglomerate, and then we start pulling this cassava out of the country. We're talking a multi-million-dollar business. This is the kind of idea we want to bring to the country, but it needs money.
Easily.
You know. Go ahead. Go ahead. Let me just interject something on the African food.
Yeah. So we're talking about African food. That market is about nearly 14-15 billion right now.
$1 billion. Yeah.
Look, we have multiple products that we buy from ourselves.
That's exactly right. Yes.
Whether that cassava leaf, our palm oil. The thing where they put Liberian on it. That Ghanaian people did that. They put Liberian because they know our people buy the African food a lot. Even the little treats that people are on the ground today, people are packaging better. What we need to do is to meet the FDA standards. We can have a facility. We can build a facility that will examine all these different products and certify them for the FDA. The FDA is willing for somebody to do that. And AGOA, the Africa Growth Opportunity Act, was there. We have not used it. Government has not facilitated over three different governments for Liberians to actually use that act. But we have the responsibility now on this tier and Donald Trump to do something. So folks, we are able. Go ahead.
Let me just interject one thing, right? So let's take one product that we all eat and we love so much: palm butter, the canned palm butter. So when you go to any African store, be it from California to New York, I've studied this. There are only 2 palm butters in the can. 2. One is called Ghana Fresh, and the other one is called Tofai. Tofai comes from right across the border from Cote d'Ivoire. If you go to the store today, pick up the can, look on the side, and you will see La Cote d'Ivoire. And where is it processed? It's processed right in San Pedro, the agricultural port city, the agro business processing port city of San Pedro across the border from Hapa. So these 2 palm butter products are imported to the U.S. under the AGOA, like Ava just said. And we Liberians are buying this to the tunes of millions of dollars every year. So we're investing in countries, businesses that are across the border from us, but we're not investing in ours. And that's what this LDEF is all about. So for Liberians all across the diaspora who are listening today, I urge you, get onto something that will pay dividends for you in the long term. When you're investing when you're buying a stock is not cryptocurrency that you're watching every second and every minute to go up and down.
Thank you.
Investing is a long-term strategy.
Thank you.
It's a long-term strategy. Economic transformation is almost like making a U-turn with a super tanker on the ocean. Super tankers take almost an hour to make a U-turn. It takes almost an hour. Why? Because they move slow, they're very heavy, and they're very large. So if we're going to look at economic transformation with the LDEF, with private capital, to drive and bring about the transformation that every Liberian in the U.S. is looking, seeking, and hoping for. So that, as Alva said, one day, we're all reaching the retirement age. I turned 60 years old this year. I've been in this country 30 years plus. So the Liberia we're all hoping to live in the next 3 to 5 years, we have to start making those changes today because we have to turn this super tanker around. And there's no better way to make that, to participate in that than investing in the LDEF. Why? Because it's a good investment tool. It's a good instrument. It will pay dividends, and the dividends will come back to you, and the transformation will be in your own country. And this is why all of us need to buy into this, support this, and be positive about it, and transform our minds from this negative thing that, oh, Ava is supporting this, Fatu is there, I know her from Spoon. No. That mindset cannot drive positive energy and transformation. It's all negativity. It's all negativity. Yeah, go ahead, Duano.
There are 4 reasons why the LDEF was established. This is the vision.
Very good.
Let me give you the 4 reasons.
Give it a 4.
Primarily, obviously, is to make the shareholders money. Okay, our shareholders are primary, so those who invest in this venture, the goal is to protect your money with really sound investment that will make some returns. Secondarily, is to create jobs across the country, massive amount of jobs across the country through innovation, through industry, through expansion of the economy. On the third level is to have some influence in the country. I'm talking about economic influence.
Economics, yes.
And fourth is to get Liberians back into the country with some expertise to increase the human capital in the country. And I can look and say, Kelvin and Cooper, Mr. Cooper, what do you do in America? He said, well, I'm an engineer. I said, listen, we have a division out of Cape Mount, our engineering division. You have 20, 30 years of experience. Can you come and help train these younger people back into the country? So to explain that again, make the shareholders money primarily, create massive amount of job in the country, have economic influence in our country, and get Liberian expertise back into the country. This is the vision.
This is the vision. So everyone listening on Facebook and on the radio across Monrovia, Lower and Upper Maghibie County, Dualu, please, before you come in, please repeat those 4 points so people can write them down. The 4 points are for the LDEF.
Number one, I encourage you to go on the vision and mission page on the website, but this is the ultimate goal of the Liberian Diaspora Corporation. Number one, to make our shareholders money. It is primary. We got to protect people's money because, like Asi said in the beginning, if this fails or any kind of didiba get involved with this, it will send our people not believing anything ever again. This is one of the major reasons why I register it. I incorporate it here in America to be regulated under American law, where all our reporting, everything will be done here in the States, even though our primary investment location is Liberia. So number one, make our shareholders money. That's number one of the vision. Number two, create thousands of jobs across Liberia. Our primary investment location is Liberia. We're not investing anywhere else except in Liberia.
Very good.
Number two, create job. Number three, to have economic influence. I want us to control the exports of our country. I want us to control the imports of our country. Every single industry. I want us to create multi-Liberian millionaires in the country. multi-millionaires across the country. Because if I create a millionaire in Bapolu County, there is a high likelihood he or she is going to develop Bapolu County with his millions. That's the economic influence I'm talking about. And number 4, this is not minimum, is to get Liberian expertise back into the country. That's the only way we develop, so we can grow more teachers, we can have more engineers in the country, more social workers in the country, more financial experts in the country, and then we begin to grow the country, and then we can select from a better quality pool of politicians that's going to transform the country. This is not politics, but we are not naive. You cannot divorce the private sector entirely from the politics of the day. Remember, this vision includes all of us.
Okay. Now, let me.
If I may,
of course, Fatima, go right
I
ahead.
just want to add on to what
Dwalu
said. If we look around us in Liberia, we're seeing politicians that we do not really identify with. They don't align with our way of life, with the things that we want for our country. They don't align with our vision. Anybody just being anything at any time. The fact is that if we start to become drivers of our own economy, we start, making sure that our young people are fully employed, we have the political advantage. We'll say who, when, and how. We'll say the people that can come to power, we know that they are experts in their own field, that will drive our country forward, that will move our economy, and that will transform our country to the 21st century. I mean, these are the things that we fight for. These are the things that we want for our country. What we want for Liberia is what we see here. Who wants to live in another man's country? You are king and queen only you in your own country. No African can actually live in another man's country and be happy. We are, let's see, I'm not an ungrateful person. We are grateful for the opportunity given to us to be able to learn and grow in America. But the time is now. The time is now that we go back to Liberia and empower our people and move our country forward. And who can do it but us? Nobody will build Liberia besides Liberians.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
You're more lucky. You're more seal it. Yes. Nobody. And the thing that this president, people say, oh, Fatu love the president. Of course, you know I love the president. I'm not going to lie to you. But the thing that drives me the most is that this president told me, whether they like it or not, Fatu, we will build this country. How can we build it collectively? Nobody. You think will take. Look at the house. You take some driver. You make him president.
Yeah, be so.
No. You take driver.
Let us not go political. Let us not go political.
We're not going political. I'm just saying. Okay. But if we have the political advantage, we'll actually put the right people in the right places to do the right thing for our country.
Yeah.
People are big here. You'll join us. It's a collective effort.
Let me announce again, Fatima. Like I said in the beginning, those of you who are not here, I know some people asking how can we contribute. The website, but the phone number that I said posted, we post the phone. You can Zelle money. Now we have a PayPal. You can do PayPal.
Let's use the right language. They're not non-profit.
No. This is not a non-profit.
Thank
you. I appreciate that. That's very good.
Yes, you are not making a contribution. You are investing in this instrument. Okay.
Thank you.
So just how. Let me again, like I said, I'm bringing my business development expertise here, right? So everyone in the diaspora in the U.S., Canada, I don't know how the Canadian side works, but on the U.S. side,
everybody's contributing too, by the way.
Yeah, everybody who has a 9-to-5, we all have our 401k plans, right? We all have 401k plans. We take 10, 15, whatever percentage of our yearly salary, we contribute to the 401k plan. You go into your Fidelity or your T. Rowe Price or your Schwab 401k plan account, and you can decide where to put your money, right? You can decide where to put your money, either in this fund, that fund, whatever the case is. It's no different than doing it with the LDEF.
No different.
And the only difference is that the LDEF will impact you directly. Why? Because it's investing in the Republic of Liberia. where we are diasporas of that country. It would bring economic transformation in our own country. It would create jobs. It would increase our tax base. It would grow our private sector. And now, like I've learned to say, if we choose to transform the politics, only the economics can transform the politics.
Absolutely.
Only
Absolutely.
the economics.
Better feel it. And let's stress this point, guys. You'll have to understand this, though. You just mentioned when you get a 401k in America. I used to work for John Hancock. It's a retirement firm here in America. They get billions of dollars. When you tell your father you put in your 401k, there were people that were in the background making sure that distribution is done. It don't sit down there. They give it to one mechanic shop. But
That's exactly right.
See your card then they take out interest on you, the money they can pay you. LDEF intends to do just that in Liberia.
That's exactly right.
Where chicken feed importation, we can't have one person monopolizing it. We can go into Sando County and get 3-4 million chicken, and then we have a factory in Sando. So your money that you invest there, now it created a job in Sando County.
That's exactly right.
Working, but you're providing chicken for you. That your 100 hours you spend now, you got 200 hours that your money is worth. So the money stays with us. If we don't keep the money with us, we don't create Liberian millionaires, we cannot develop. Let me repeat. Every society you see today, they must groom millionaires locally for them to be able to develop. And the corporation intends to do this. Look, guys, this is the only way forward. Fatima said we're not ungrateful. Look, I will forever kiss the ground that America allowed me into their country. But I'm going to say this to you. If we who have been gotten some education, we don't turn back to the country to effectuate the kind of change that's going to transform Robertsport or Bapudu City or Tottenham Burr, Liberia remains as is. We have to take some risks. It comes with some pains, but you cannot say 5 to 3 years from now, if we want that result in 5 to 3 years, we have to make that commitment now.
Now. You got to do it now. Okay, let me ask the three leaders of the LDEF, right? So have you guys considered, right? You talk about small scale manufacturing, you talk about value added in the agro processing sector, whether it's for cassava, whether it's for palm oil, so forth and so on. And yeah, we all know as Liberians, every county, the base of every county is an agronomy economy outside of Mittal, Nimba, and the export thing out of Buchanan. But in order for us to be effective in the agro processing, right? Emphasis on the word processing. So you're looking at small scale industrialization at the county level. Have you considered the energy factor? You know me, I'm always about electricity because we cannot get to where we have to go unless we solve this thing. So my question to you is, I know the LEC is there. This is not an LEC discussion, but have you considered is on the board? You know what we call strip malls, right? The strip mall. The strip mall, where you got these long buildings and they cut them into like sliced bread and you got maybe 10, 15, 20 stores in there, right? Is the LDEF considering building something like that to resemble a small industrial park with a micro solar grid to provide the electricity to support the small, medium scale industrialization, right? Power to run the machines, to process the cassava, the palm oil, the rice, the sugar cane, whatever the case is. Are you considering that? Have you factored that into your strategic plan for each of the counties? Fatima, raise her hand. Go ahead, Fatima.
Yes. So there is nothing. We're not close-minded. We're watching economists around the world. We're seeing how they are growing and how they are thriving and growing and doing well. We're open to everything that will uplift Liberia. We know that electricity is a major crisis in the region, not only in Liberia. I thought it was in Liberia. I went to Sierra Leone. It is in the entire region. How can we do it differently? We will invest in solar. That's why we want this movement not only to be on a small scale. We want it large. And how can we do it? Not only with Liberians in Liberia, but in the diaspora. That's why we are reaching out. We're trying to speak to all major organizations, locally and internationally, to push forward this agenda. Because let me tell you, once we start building solar plants, we start investing into our country, all those things will happen. So we are very open-minded. We want Liberia to be the way the people are living, where we are living here. We want to take the good things from these nations and take it back to Liberia. So yes, sir, it's something that we've been looking into. That's something that we want to do, and that's something that we will pursue. Energy is a major, if we're talking about industrial revolution, of
That's
course.
exactly right. That's exactly right.
Energy is a
I,
major, it's a plus.
I just wanted to tie that in there to make
And I
sure
like
that
that.
we're not. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that we're not just riding in the plane and forgetting that we're going to land. Yeah.
No.
So,
I'll say, I know you want to come in, but let me just say this.
Go ahead, Abba, yeah.
Mr. Phillips, I will say this to you. Here in Lowell, Massachusetts, at the turn of the century, one thing I really love, I love to read history aggressively, because I believe the solutions of some of the problems we're facing today, they've already faced that in the past. In fact, where Liberia is today is where America was maybe, let's say, 1830, 1840. So they're way back there. And most of these, Liberia have a lot of streams all across the country. Let's assume we decide to build a factory outside of Wheeler, for example. Do you know you can build a small hydropower plant for $1.5 million? Do you know how fires
even less than that?
Less than that. So
even less than that. The cost of the equipment, the cost of the equipment has significantly dropped.
You see bomb mines, you see the Firestones, you see Lamco, they had their own personal grade. So as we raise this money, that Fatima said, we are not closed-minded. We understand the competing factors out there. So if you're going to have a flour mill, and let's say we build another 2-3 park, like an industrial park, the Liberian Diaspora Industrial Park, we can say, we cannot depend on LEC. We take the $5 million investment and we invest in our own local power production that we maintain and control. And then we can expand this out.
That's exactly right.
The thing about it, you're trying to start something, and we start small. Maybe we'll start with one business. As we get more money, we invest in another business. This is not a one-time boom where everything is going to fail. But gradually, we can build something. That's the intention. That's it.
Ava, go ahead. Go ahead, Ava.
Yes. We recognize that energy is very important. And there are potential partners for energy in Liberia, to provide it, to be able to do that. So we fully understand that concept. We have been pushing it. And one thing I try to do is any of the sectors that I talk about that I want something to happen, I actually participate in that in terms of business in that area. So yes, so definitely being able to pursue the energy sector and make it more elaborate will be part of our agenda, because otherwise the overhead for most of the businesses we want to participate in will be too high. It will not be sustainable, and profitability will be really low. So yes, energy is a key factor, and there are programs out there. Unfortunately, USAID is gone. Power Africa is probably gone as well. Yes, but there are other development-oriented opportunities that we can partner with to be able to use electricity as a base and be able to, impact the ease of doing business. So yes, definitely, that's an aspect. And we are looking at multiple. Look, Liberia is really open. There is a lot of opportunity, whether we look at any sector you look at, basically, whether it's transportation, whether it's minerals, whether it's tourism, whether it's just retail, whether it's importation, whether it's packaging and exporting. There are huge ranges of profitability. So we're really talking to Liberians for let's see this vision. Let's see what some people are doing on the ground, how we can elevate what they are doing. Let's see the new entries that we can make in certain areas that Liberians are not really in. Look, believe it or not, the Lebanese are getting into farming now.
Of course.
They are getting into farming.
And I just want to say one thing. We are also relaying on radio Kakata 101.7 FM in Magibi County. So we're this show is all the way into Wiala, Tori, all the way into Banga as well. So to small business people who are listening, we're talking today about the LDEF, the Liberia Diaspora Equity Fund, which is a private capital investment fund. We have today Mr. Dualu, the Chief Executive Officer based in Massachusetts. We have the Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Isaac Vartopa, based in Virginia, Maryland area, and also our Madam Fatima Bintu Salif, who is the Chief Operations Officer, who runs everything that has to do with operating and making this successful. So, this whole idea, right, of there are two key areas I advise, recommend, and suggest the Equity Fund considers, because these areas are areas where Liberians and diasporans love to invest in, right? So in this industrial, quote unquote, small industrial park, mini industrial park that will support the industrialization and the agro-processing segment of the business, which will create a lot of jobs, solar microgrid, whatever it is. But don't forget the power of the internet, because whatever products you manufacture there need to be sold by way of the internet to off-takers wherever they are around the world, back to the US, Europe, or wherever the case is. And again, for me, private capital, that is what I'm talking about, people. All of you guys who are listening on Facebook in the US, Canada, Europe, Australia, I saw somebody on here from Australia. You want to invest in the LDEF. This is something you want to invest in, because between Mr. Dwalu here, I'm warning everybody, I'm just being very honest and transparent, okay? When you go to Wall Street to buy a stock, it's best to get in early, because between Mr. Dwalu, the CEO, and Mr. Alva Tokba, the Chief Financial Officer, and Madam Fatima Bintu Salif, the Chief Operation Officer, for the people who sit on the sidelines, these guys are going to carry the price of this thing up once the demand goes up. And those who came in late may have to probably buy at 300 to 350 bucks. And those who bought it at 250 will be laughing at you because they just gained equity.
They just gain equity.
I'm just being very honest here. Yeah. As I said, I'm not just an engineer, I'm a business development specialist. This is what I do every day. Yeah. And this is a good investment, because it will be wholesome, right? It's not just one aspect. It will be national. They're going to be investing in every county across the country. They're going to be bringing economic transformation in every county. They're going to be tying it back to the Liberian diaspora organizations, the different tribal, different high schools, colleges, universities, whatever the case is in the US. So they're going to be harnessing Liberian capex in the US, okay? And then directing it and channeling it. So when you're part of this, okay, the people in the stands cannot make a decision of what happens on the field.
Absolutely.
You can't be on the outside of the stadium trying to tell the coach to put John in as number 7. No, you've got to be on the team. And this is what we're talking about today. Join this thing, invest in this. It's a great instrument that will bring economic transformation in Liberia, whether you're from Lofa, from Bapolu, from Bomi. When you pull your resources into this, you can then join the Zoom call of the shareholders, and then the shareholders will vote on where they're going to invest the money.
Correct.
And the return on that money called equity, right? Yeah. Okay, the recurring, because again, because this is what's killing Liberian businesses. That's, the thing we call in business stunt growth. You plant the tree, but the tree never grows tall. It's growing, but it never grows tall. It never bears fruit because the soil is not rich. So Liberian businesses, be it in Riverside, be it in Sino, be it in Hopper, their businesses there. These guys are working hard, but they don't have the capex to take them to the next level. We don't have the small industrial park that they can move into and then use that electricity to then maximize their business to feed the local market. They're depending on people bringing stuff all the way from Monrovia. And when things come from Monrovia, there's transportation costs that's added onto it. And the price of the thing in Monrovia and the price of the thing in Maryland, one is high, one is low. So again, I just want to kind of bring that up to make sure that the diaspora group, between you, Dwalu, and Ava, and Fatu, consider this small. It doesn't have to be a big industrial park, but the concept of a building, a strip mall, 10, 15, 20 stores that could be used by small business people to rent and put their machines in there, and then use the solar microgrid, 250 kilowatt, 500 kilowatt to power that up. processing, they're making ice, they're making Kool-Aid, they're making yogurt, and they're feeding the local market. And then there's a turnover for the investors who went that way. Having that across the country will create so many new jobs.
I agree. Mr. Phillips.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Sorry, after you,
let me say this, guys. Look, if we don't answer these questions, sometime ago, somebody said, they trust Dangote, they give Dangote the money. When Dangote, I don't even know the history of Dangote. Actually, uncle borrowed him money. That's how he got started. They trust Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg could not get funding for Facebook. Nobody would invest initially. People say, oh, Uber and Lyft. Nobody wanted to invest. People invest in giant corporation easily because now it's been established.
That's exactly right.
Something. Our goal is to raise the stock price maybe to $5,000 if we start investment. If you bought at $90, if we can get you to $5,000, we believe we are doing something better for the corporation. But I want you guys to understand this. Nothing starts as a giant. The giant Amazon you see today that's worth over $3 trillion, almost $4 trillion, was begun in the garage selling books. So it's not going to start as a giant, but I want you to see the vision of this. The vision. I'm not asking you to cash in your 401k. I'm asking you to take 10, 15, 20, 30 shares. You buy this thing, we put our resources. Instead of always wishing for something to happen in Liberia, we actually doing something for it to happen. Because nothing is going to happen. The Ghanaians we see today, they took a risk. There are pains. There were some losses. Look, I've been given to ask you, but I will say this. I took $280,000 of my own money initially invested into Liberia and started my operation. There was a lot of losses. There was a lot of failures, but there was a lot of successes. Through that process, I was able to build a 5-story, 15-apartment building in the country because of those risks. But I experienced some pains. Then I understood the ground a little bit better. Don't let anybody lie to you. Say, oh, it will all be gravy. We are aware of this, and we are going to do everything we can to mitigate most of this. But yes, an issue. Don't worry about risk, if to say we are not living as people that are living with risk. As long as we channel those risks, we are proper, we follow regulations, and we guard the process. We believe collectively that, as I say, all of us put our hand on the air, it has no option but to succeed.
Let us succeed. Let us succeed. Go ahead, Isaac. Go ahead.
Let me come a little bit. Let's talk a little bit.
You can let two men talk without putting a woman in between next time. Okay, I'll let you speak.
Okay, no. Go ahead, Fatima. Go ahead, Fatima, please. Go ahead, Fatima.
Thank you
for correcting us. Thank you for correcting. Yes. Go ahead, Fatima.
Let me talk. I've been reading some of the comments, but for a country to develop, people have to make sacrifices. Some of us, when we were in college and getting the free financial aid money back in those days, we used to send barrels upon barrels and little things just to make sure that our people were doing something so they were not dependent on us all of the time. For Ghana and all those nations to develop the way they are, there were major sacrifices, there were losses. But my people, who you want to develop Liberia? Lebanese man, he only come into Liberia for what he can get from there. But at the end of the day, they go back to Lebanon and develop their own country. No man will come. You see how people fighting all over the world for their land? It's because the home turf is where you need to invest. Liberia, I said I went to Kalano building to visit Kalano, that glass building, and I saw grass growing in between that building to show you that our soil is very rich. A collective effort. You will see Dwalu, you'll see Ava, and you'll see me, and your team say people will really sit there and destroy your money. Every business is a risk. I'm not going to put my hand on the chopping board and say, no, it's not a risk. But who will develop Liberia if you don't join us to do it? My people, we're coming to you, and we'll continue to come to you, and we'll continue to plead with you, because this is something for us by us. And you about the FUBU, for us by us. This is for all of us by all of us. You work for your friend Liberia, your own country person, the thing they will do to you and for you, not the way the other people will treat you. My people, you think about it. And these gentlemen, they've sacrificed everything to ensure that our young boys don't go on the side and just be sitting there and doing nothing. To show that our children are on drugs. You take those boys from Mora, you carry them somewhere where they're earning their own money. I'm not saying that they will not do drugs or whatever, it will minimize it.
Absolutely.
Make somebody to feel their own importance. You build up their self-esteem. You know what is a person without a job? You know when Papa run into the house, No kidding. Even your children, they can start overlooking him.
Yeah,
My people,
yeah.
I'm telling you, even a wife that used to love him, she ain't getting her hair and her nails done. Papa just sitting at home, they can start overlooking it. Let's empower our people.
Yeah.
And how can we
Very
do
good.
it? Collectively, my people.
Definitely.
Let's
Yes.
go
Go
together,
ahead.
work
Go
hard,
ahead.
and put our country first.
Yeah. Thank you, Fatima.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
So,
Ava. Go ahead, Ava.
quickly before I talk, people are sharing their stuff. This other person, 42,000.
Okay, so it's catching
So,
on.
so it's catching on. And feel free, you share it. I will share it. I will hire people their name.
Yes,
But
yes.
we'll share it.
It's catching
just
on. It's
shows
the
that
point. Yes, yeah. Go ahead,
the
Ava.
point
Go
is
ahead.
made. There's a lot of money coming in. And some interesting comments are coming. For example, this person said, all of the analysis sound very interesting and brilliant, but I want you to know we don't have the population for industrialized production. I'm not sure what that person means when they say we don't have the population. Look, if you don't know,
There's a gap.
ask somebody. Back in the day, Liberia was producing soap, Liberia was producing a lot of rubber products, Liberia was producing
La Ramco. I
yes,
had the sneakers.
multiple things. So when you say we don't have it for industrial production, I don't understand. Look, there are so many talented Liberians out here. There are people way better than us who can do this better than us. Maybe they just didn't start it, or they may not have the interest or the passion to do it. But there are so many qualified Liberians out here in nearly any discipline you can think about, and they should feel free to join us or to do something. Like the space is huge in Liberia. Look, some people even think about trying to do a film, like a whole
industry. Yeah,
I don't know what the name for it, but a film like farm or something down in Kipamas, right? Open like a Tyler Perry film studio or whole
like studio park or studio park.
Yeah, the whole park.
Yes,
Yes, a film park.
Yeah.
So people are thinking on different things. There's so much opportunities. You tell me the way we communicate. Can the Indian people then who own all the business process operation call lines and speak like us? If we really coach up our people, no. The Nigerians, no. The Filipinos, no. So we got a lot of potential. We just need to harness it. We just need to bring critical mass together to do it. So yes, we have the population for industrialized production, and a lot of what we want to do can also be exported. There's something called balance of trade and balance of payment. The balance of trade is your trade relationship with your different countries, right? If you importing $10 million, but you're only exporting $1 million, you're in a deficit, 900 million by your balance of trade. Okay, so we need to improve that. That improves our economy. So all of these things we are doing is how can we move products from Liberia to a large extent to the diaspora. The China market is open. The daughter was talking, look, about even starch. You will package starch. All the cassava we got, if we start producing starch and we can package it readily, we can export it to these different places. Cassava is a root for a lot of products right now. So we are on the cusp of something critical that can really help our country move forward. So let's see how we can be. People can critique us. For me, I don't have a problem with criticism or negativity because that's just part of the business, right? All of those who have some thoughts and interests, let them see how they can join us and work with us for us to do this thing together.
Let me throw something in here. Two things, right? Two things. I want to bring. Since you're the one who's controlling it, I want you to look for something online for me. Go to Google for me and look for the sequoia seed. Look for two things for me: the sequoia seed and the sequoia tree.
Right.
Then while you're doing that, I'll explain. The sequoia tree is the largest living thing on the earth. It is called the California redwood tree. It is the largest living thing.
Just pronounce the thing so our Liberian people can know sequoia. That the same way that car sequoia. That is
yes, that's the reason why Toyota named that truck the Sequoia, because sequoia, right? So it is the largest living thing on the earth. And it is the oldest living thing on the earth. But the amazing thing about the sequoia tree is the size of its seed. I want Ava to please just go to Google, look for sequoia seed, and I want everyone to see what that seed looks like, because I'm trying to drive a point. I'm trying to drive a point here. So, and Dwalu and Fatima, I hope you guys can catch this point. And I want everyone listening to kind of catch the vision of what I'm trying to do and tie it back to the LDF, right? Because if you don't understand what we're discussing, if it's going over your head or going past your ears, then you wouldn't be able to catch. So we want you to kind of hone in on it and lock into it so that you'll be able, so we can harness your energy to move this thing forward. Okay, the sequoia tree, they look for the sequoia tree and look for the sequoia seed. There's a picture there with the guy who has the seed.
I just wanted to, you see what it is?
Yeah. It says
the size, and you said the tree is the biggest tree, right? So let them think about the size. It's like a grain of oatmeal, very small.
Yeah, but show the picture. I want you to show the picture. Show the picture. Go to the image. I want you to show the image. Go to the image, sequoia seed. There's a picture there. Yes, go down, go further down. There's a picture there with the guy who has the seed at the tip of his finger. No, go down.
But look at the one in this guy's hand. Look at the one in this guy's hand. Right here.
Okay, so that's the very good. That's the picture I want right
the
there.
finger one.
There you go. So the oldest thing living on the earth and the biggest thing living on the earth comes out of that small seed. But what makes it the oldest and what makes it the biggest is time. It's time. So that's why we must invest in the LDF. And over time, this LDF can be the biggest and the most powerful thing for economic transformation in this country. You've got to catch the vision. You've got to understand what is being birthed here. Because if you don't understand it, then you will only be negative about it because your mind hasn't yet been elevated to that level. And that's okay. If you can't see it, then ask someone to show it to you. If you don't understand it, go to the website. If you don't understand it, pick up the phone and call and let someone educate you and get you out of the darkness into the light. And then look at your send wave and see how much money you've been sending over since January 1st up to March 8th, and ask yourself what kind of return you've gotten on that money. And that's why we must invest collectively in the LDF so that we can, and the LDF is the sequoia seed that will ultimately become the sequoia tree that would transform this country, create the jobs all across the different political subdivisions, industrialize our country, and move this country forward. Only the economics can transform the politics, people.
I agree. And I'll answer the question in terms of the population. I want to say this, guys. I don't want you to ever think about Liberia's population as the 5.6 million people. Think regionally. When I think about Liberia population, I include Sierra Leone, Guinea, and Ivory Coast because we have easy access to these populations. So collectively in that region, I think we were close to 50 million people. I don't know, what's Ivory Coast population? About 20
Ivory
million?
Coast is, I think 25 or 26.
Okay, let's just say it's 25 million. Guinea is
Ivory Coast and Guinea is next. In the Minor River Union is Ivory Coast is first, Guinea is second. I believe it's either Sierra Leone third, and then we are last.
And we're the last. So our market is not restricted
regionally.
To
That's exactly.
Think about Switzerland. Switzerland is a massive production company. They got 7-8 million people. They're not a lot of people. Look at those small European countries. So I don't want you to think about the population. As I spoke about the balance of trade, think about what we can get by what we produce. Now, if we can put 80-90% of the Liberian population to work, we can produce for 50 million population in the region, whatever we produce. So, for instance, currently the Guineans sell most of the rubberware to Liberia. Yeah, well, this. Most of our pepper coming from Guinea. They are exporting to the country. So, we can reverse that. Right now, we are in the negative when we look at the Guineans or the Ivorians or even the Sierra Leoneans. How do we reverse this?
Well, nearly everybody.
Everybody. So, I don't want you to think about it. Say, guys, listen. I know it's impossible to remove politics from it. I get it. But this is a private equity operation. It doesn't matter who's president. Our intention is to bring private enterprise into Liberia, irrespective of the government that be. So don't think about it as trying to help the government. Yes, the goal is to help increase the government tax base. Yes, the goal is to help increase employment in the country, and that helps the government.
Yeah.
Yes, the goal is to help families stay together. That helps the government. Yes, but don't think about it as an individualistic thing. Think about it as collectively we are trying to improve our country.
Yeah. So let me ask something here. So if I was to ask you, Mr. CEO, Ava, Mr. CFO, and Fatima, Madam Fatima there, Ms. Fatima there as the COO, what would you consider your mission statement of the LDF? What would you define as your mission statement, or what would you say as your mission statement? What is what is the if anyone is to think about the LDF, what should they think in a statement?
Ask about go to the website and post the mission statement. There
you go. Post the mission statement.
I'll post it for everybody. Okay, let me
copy and paste it. Yeah, because one of the things that attracts people, right? Yeah, everyone who's listening, everyone who's watching. I'm reading all the comments here. People are very, very engaged. They are very engaged in this because Robert Morris is saying the ASEAN nations as a case study. Very good. So, the size of your population, of our country's population, if I was to say it doesn't really matter, is a relative term, because we are a very, very sparsely populated country. As old as we are, we're still, and that's a great advantage. As old as we are still a virgin economy. As old as we are, we're still young. And this presents a tremendous amount of opportunity. We've got young people. The greatest percentage of our population are young people. They're youth. And that's where, if we can harness the energy of the youth and get them to become the workforce that will empower all of the investments of the LDF in different counties, that would be a major economic transformation at the county level, because that will be jobs at the county level. And like Dwalu said, increasing the tax base through the LRA so that we don't be dependent 100% or dependent in a greater way on aid from so-called international partners. We've got to learn to pay our own way. We've got to pay our own way. This is Liberian ingenuity and creativity on stage today. These people, Ava, Dwalu, Fatima, put their minds together. They've birthed this thing. When you read the book of Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, he talks about what? The mastermind principle. Yeah. And the mastermind is a collection of minds of people that are driven for what? Definiteness of purpose. And the definiteness of purpose for this whole LDF is what? Is industrialization, economic transformation in Liberia to create jobs, provide opportunity, and harness the economic wealth of the financial wealth of Liberians in the diaspora. Go ahead and read it. Read the mission statement, Ava. Read the mission statement.
So the Liberia Diaspora Equity Fund mission statement is to mobilize and channel the financial resources, expertise, and entrepreneurial capabilities of the Liberian diaspora into transformative investments that build partnerships, stimulate economic growth, create jobs, and foster sustainable development in Liberia. And really, that's what.
Yeah, keep it up there. Keep it up there. Let's keep it up there. Let's unpack that. Very good. Let's unpack that, because that's a big suitcase right there. You probably had to pay excess luggage for that, right? So let's so let's unpack it. And then Fatima, Miss Fatima, Dwalu, and Ava, you guys can unpack it piece by piece.
So yes,
to mobilize.
Let's
go to the first part.
Look at the first word, mobilize.
Yes.
I know most Liberians have heard the government talking about domestic resource mobilization. That means they want to find out how they can get money in the country from the tax base, for the concessions, etc. In this case, we are mobilizing financial resources from the Liberian diaspora. That's the idea. That's the primary. But that does not exclude any other Liberian. We have people now on the ground who are investing in this, because it's for, at the end of the day, it's for all of us Liberians. But we are targeting the diaspora because the diaspora needs to get involved with the ground. And that's when it goes to build partnership, right? We are all Liberians, but we know there are division among us. And we need to, kind of remove those inhibitors, those barriers, those things that stop us from relating to each other. So then we talk about channeling the financial resources, right? We got to channel it because we can't just willy-nilly just put people money and we're around. Oh, my cousin investing so let me just give my cousin 50,000 or LDEF money. No, we got to channel it into purposeful ventures that will be beneficial, profitable, and impactful from a development perspective on the people, right? Expertise. Dwalu were talking about that. Transferring some of the diaspora expertise or the expertise that already on the ground, uncovering it. There's some smart people on the ground, there's some productive people on the ground, but sometimes they are deprived the opportunity because the only big cap is the government cap. That's the only big pie that on the ground. And if they exclude you most times, you have nothing else to do. But this is an opportunity to expand the economy, to get more Liberians involved, regardless of your tribe, your political affiliation, or anything like that. We are seeing private sector, some people say none of us here have the same political affiliation, but we can come together as Liberians and do valuable things for Liberia. So it's not about a political affiliation. I would love for us, whoever having those arguments or those thought processes about political affiliation, for us to have an open discussion about it, right? And the entrepreneurial capabilities of the Liberian diaspora. Yes, many people here are already in the business sector because not too many people really working with the U.S. government or the county or state government. They are doing business. Many Liberians are business people. We got some wonderful entrepreneurs among us. It's just that we ourselves don't recognize that. We don't elevate those people who are in business and doing it. And we need to do that in this case. We need to identify some of those who are up and coming. Some people got great ideas on the ground that can catch fire. But that first $150 to register the business, to get the articles of incorporation, sometimes they ain't got it. The $3,500 LD to register the business, they don't have it. So some ideas just die on the cutting table. And this opportunity will give people the chance to develop with our venture pilot studio that once after the pilot stage, the first 2 years, when we can scale up some people and move them into actual, expanding their businesses, then we can start identifying those other people that are very creative, that have huge opportunities based on their ideas, and see how we can move it forward. Just about anything that we want, we can really do among Liberians, and we can be self-sufficient. People are talking about food self-sufficient. Yeah, we can even provide food for other people. So, and we can get wealth from food. So there's just so much opportunity there. Then we'll go to the transformative investment. Yes, if we do targeted investment, it can transform sectors, right? If we really and do the certification for food products, if we can build that certification, that we can pass US FDA standard, we can pass the European standards and get our food consistently exported to those places, our products, that's huge market we opening and significant dollars we'll be getting. So those investments can transform. You go into a county like Riverside where hardly anything is there, and you put one real decent like he said, a strip mall where you can have a diversity of businesses, and it can be an attraction right there. You can put a rest stop there. You can put a gas station there. You can put stores there. So right there, people will gravitate towards that economy. You're building an economic corridor right there, and that's the access way to the southeast. So the opportunities for us to really do this thing, there's a lot of opportunities here. If we bring our money together, we'll be able to stimulate economic growth. We'll be able to create jobs. And those jobs, sometimes they don't have to come to Monrovia for those jobs. Those jobs can definitely be in the counties. There are opportunities in the counties. So, we really appreciate this opportunity that you have given us. I know probably Fatima got something to do. I know Talu got to work. So let's see how in the next 13 minutes we can bring it to a close. But it's a wonderful topic. We are always open to coming on, and we start now that we have brought ourselves out to the public. We'll be doing small little portions and snippets here, talking about the Liberia Diaspora Equity Fund, giving you update on the process. Some people who may be confused on how they can contribute, go through a whole little presentation of the step-by-step ways that you can contribute. So we can really bring this to the public so they can understand this is a transparent thing. This is what we want to do, and it can be successful.
Okay, so very good. I mean, you did an outstanding unpacking of your mission statement. So to everyone who's listening,
Just let me because you're my
Oh,
friend.
it was perfect.
no, you know, because you see, sometimes you know, we the minds that are coming together here, we need to truly break this yoke, or this, you know, the blinds over people's eyes, because whenever we Liberians see ourselves coming together to do something of this nature, right, the first impulse is, you know, the spiritual law: the prophet is never welcome in his own home. You get my point? So we need to break that, and the only way to break that or free people from that mindset is to educate and to elevate the discussion, because most people are speaking from a position of ignorance. They simply just don't know. They don't know, and what people don't know creates fear.
Right.
And once fear is created, then people start having doubts. And when you got doubts, then no one's going to spend their money or going to invest their money. So the more you enlighten, the more you educate, the more you elevate the discussion, and the more you know, when I say elevate the discussion, when you take it higher, because so those who can't climb, leave them down. You leave them behind, because not everybody will follow. Not everybody has, you know, if you look at the scriptures, not everybody who went to the promised land entered there. Some people left behind.
Absolutely.
There were 12 tribes. Not all 12 tribes entered. Some people were doubtful. Some people said, we're happy where we are. Some people turned around and went back. So what we've got to do, you know, I like the strategic nature of the LDF. I like the composition of the leadership, because, you know, the COO from her, you know, Fatima, I mean, as the operations person, you can play a very important role on the ground from the operational standpoint, because you're a woman, and we, even though yesterday was a International Women's Day, but yeah, everybody talks about the market association power in the Liberian economy. Every county has a market and market association, and it's all driven, led by, empowered by, and by women. The women drive the small business economy in every county through the market association. So when you are able to plug into that and harness that, why can't the LDF build new marketplaces and put new tables, and those tables can be rented, and those women can then put solar lighting and do other things there, so that the market is not just for the day, but it's also for the evenings. And why can't those marketplaces be major transport stops, like what Alva was saying, entry points to the different counties, different cities? So there's transformation, and there's more technology and expertise that's coming into this. So, as we prepare to close the show, I don't know, Alva, whether you want to take some calls or whether you want to read some comments or whatever the case is.
Yes.
But I'm just telling, then we can take it up to the top of the hour. Again, it's up to you
some
guys.
calls. Let's take a few calls for the people if you want to call.
Yes. Somebody even wanted to join the show. I sent a link to him. I don't know what happened, why he didn't join. But this is open, folks. This is open for all of us to participate.
Invest in this.
By criticism, whether we're participating by sharing knowledge, whether we're participating by actual investment. There's room for everybody. This table is very large for all of us to sit down on and be able to impact Liberia.
Let me ask one last question to the leadership here, right? To Madam Fatou. I think Fatou's still there. To the Fatima. CEO, Madam Fatima, to the CEO, Mr. Dualu, and to the CFO there. Accountability, right? Accountability is something that I'm looking at. I'm reading the comments here. It's not just being said, but it's being implied. I mean, accountability, because I don't like to use the word contribute or give, okay? But this is an investment. This is an investment. People, I'm looking at the comments here. I mean, so many Liberians across this country, across the diaspora, invested in crypto. Who was accountable for your crypto that you lost? So but am I right or wrong? So you had one level of mindset when you were investing in your crypto on crypto.com and Robinhood and everything else, but you don't want to bring that same mindset to the LDEF because the people look like you and they sound like you and the Liberians. That's wrong. That's fundamentally wrong. You've got, if you are an educated, informed investor and you want to get a return on your money, then do your reading, do your homework.
Yeah.
You don't question your 401k investments. You don't even know who's taking the money from your check. Go to the LDF website. Everything is written there. The questions some people are asking, they can get the answers right on the LDF website. But you're just asking the question to be negative and to throw,
But that's part of it. Let them do it, and maybe it gives more people an understanding of where we are.
Yeah.
I mean, it's right here. How do we ensure transparency and accountability?
So speak to that. Yes.
Governance and reporting standards. We publish detailed financial reports. Would invite independent auditors to do the audit, and then we'll provide regular updates to investors on project performance. That's what we intend to do, and people can ask any kind of question, and we'll be transparent to them, be able to answer them.
Very good.
We invited. For me personally, we don't have a problem. We are very clear where we are going. We expect it. That's just human tendency.
As opposed to numbers
to cry, to deny, to denigrate.
Yeah.
Huh?
The number for people to call, and then let me ask my last. Let me ask my last question. Napoleon Hill. So what the LDF is doing, the leadership, what they're doing, they're creating a mastermind. They're using the mastermind principle, where all they've created one mastermind to create this thing, to birth this thing, and then all of the investors will also contribute to creating a mastermind that will be so powerful that will bring about economic transformation in the country. Last question for you guys, CEO, CFO, and COO. Is the LDF going to invest in small Liberian companies? Meaning, are you going to be open to almost something similar to Shark Tank? A lot of people are familiar with Shark Tank, right?
You acting like you're not listening to us, but let me share this.
No. I need to ask the question specifically so that people can say the question was asked and you guys explain. Yes. So are you guys going to be open to investing, taking applications from local Liberian companies, and then going through the process of due diligence, and then invest, and then the fund will invest into those companies and own a share or a percentage, 20%, 15%, 20%, and then be a part of the management makeup to make sure that the money's invested will go in the right direction? Answer the questions.
Yes. Just to answer it all, yes. And I'm trying to find an exchange or discussion I had, and I believe you were a part of that discussion because you were in that particular room, where we talk about our pilot studio and everything, right? So let me just share this on the screen. I'll read for people so they can get a better understanding.
There you go.
Where we are coming from, in terms of this information. So let me go to my share here, my share screen, go to a window and share this.
Yeah. God, so this is also a US number. Just remove the 231. It's also a US number. Just remove the 231.
Oh, okay.
The 231 is only for people in Liberia. If you want to call from Liberia, put the 231.
Yeah. So the reason I asked that question, everyone, right, Alva, before you go into that, the reason I asked that question is because what we want to do, I think that it was the last show, Alva, we talked about building this bridge, right? Building this diaspora bridge between the U.S., like diasporas in the U.S., Canada, Europe, to Liberian companies in Liberia to empower them for economic transformation in the country. Okay. And there's so many Liberian companies, businesses there who will want to say, hey, you know what? If I cannot buy a share, maybe I can buy a share, invest in the LDEF, right? But at the same time, the LDEF can also invest in me. So I want to apply and I want to go through my due diligence, get my records and everything together so that when my time comes for them to, do their due diligence and bring me in for an interview, I will be able to present my company and things like that, and then I can become an attractive asset for the LDEF to invest in and acquire a portion. Because again, the asset portfolio, right? That's the right word. The asset portfolio of the LDEF is going to increase as they acquire more Liberian companies or invest in more Liberian companies. I see Dwanu smiling there. Go right ahead.
So you see on the screen, and if anybody think I can read all the things Jeff on this discussion here, then they really got a high impression about me. But we've been having these conversations, and I was sharing with somebody. Look, there are some very smart young Liberians that we want on board and are coming on board to support this effort, right? We have one of them who is going to implement the Venture Studio Pilot Project. Now, this project will be able to help businesses build expertise. We will facilitate partnership opportunities, and sometimes we not only have to be LDEF that's investing, it's other Liberians who may see it, because we'll try to promote these people and facilitate the opportunities for some of these businesses to connect with other investors and with us and for them to do that, we got to try to make them investment ready, that they have the pitch deck, they have the financials kind of at least 1 year of financials ready for somebody to look at to see how the business is doing, right? So it will empower entrepreneurs by supporting startup businesses that have been operating for at least 2 years, right? To be ready to scale through mentorship, through resources, and through marketing what they have. It will connect local entrepreneurs, international entrepreneurs, and investors who want to participate to provide funding for so many businesses to grow. We do capacity building workshop, we do boot camps, we do training camps, and give these people the skills that they need. So yes, exactly what you're talking about is what we intend to do. And some of the services that we provide to qualify and vetted Liberian entrepreneurs include business incubation and acceleration. For those who don't know, incubation is just how when baby born and premature, they put it in an incubator. That how we put a business in an incubator and try to build the system so that lungs they can breathe properly and physically be ready to come out and start to crawl and then walk. And acceleration is to be able to find that funding where you can move the business faster than it would otherwise have gone. So you accelerate the development and progress of the business. And then like I said before, there are a lot of Liberians who are successful business people who identify those people and marry them in a big brother or big business, small business kind of relationship. Let them mentor some of these businesses. They've been there, they've done that. One advice somebody can give, somebody can change the whole direction of a business. So if we can identify those people, it will create that kind of stuff. And then the model that some people business have. So strategically, we provide input that could change the direction. Maybe you hitting your head against a rock. Come try and hit your head on a pillow and find how you can do some things differently. The access to capital, that's why we say we have the pitch deck for them to be able to reach out and present to people who may have resources. So on both sides, we got to identify the people with ideas, the people with the business. Then on the other side, we got to identify the people who got the money to be able to help. Then we ourselves as LDEF, if that LDEF, yes, particular business seed attractive, we invest exactly we partner with those things, So yeah, these are all things that we intend to do. We have documented them. We hold ourselves accountable to them, and we just hope that our people will join us in this effort. That's the key, the participation of more Liberians into this effort and believing that as Liberians, and that one of the things I want to talk about, Liberians can work together. We have had that stigma on us for the longest time because a lot of time people are selfish, just in it only for themselves or their friends or their family. This is a real big umbrella, big family kind of proposition that we are bringing to the Liberian people for all of us to be involved in this thing, for all of us to be accountable to each other and be business owners. That's what this is. If you're part of this, you're a business owner, you are invested in this business, you have a basic rate, whether that 1 share, whether that 500 shares, to be able to articulate where your issue is. And I believe we as Liberians can come to the table and talk. We don't always have to yell at each other or curse each other or fuss or fight. We can sit down and we can discuss these things and find the best way to move our country forward, to move our business forward, and individually to move ourselves forward. So yes, to answer your question, with a long breath, that's what it is.
Very good.
We got to take some. Because
we will take some calls.
Okay.
We will take some calls. Give me 1 minute here.
Donnie, you said I should edit it. I should edit the number, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's already been done. So I just want people to know that the 774 is a US. The Jepo 231 if you're calling from Liberia, but it's also a US number. That's the point I wanted to make.
Very good. Yeah. So okay. the key thing to everyone who's listening in the diaspora in Liberia, to the Liberian businesses who are listening today through Love FM or through Joy FM and Kakata FM radio there. To everyone who's listening, if you're a small, medium-sized, large Liberian business, this is when you start getting all your paperwork together. Start getting all your things together, arranging your company, your business, your financials, all of that, because the LDEF is on the way. This thing, the train has left the station, the plane has taken off. This thing is rising, it is elevating. And once it gets to Liberia, business people, the LDEF would do their road trip from county to county to educate, to inform. They will be on the radio stations across every county to educate people about what the Diaspora Investment Fund is. So again, you've heard from the CEO, you've heard from the Chief Financial Officer, you've heard from the COO. They're going to be investing in local Liberian businesses. If those businesses are attracted to the LDEF, they will be aligning local Liberian businesses with private capital to invest in those businesses to help them to grow and become economically transformational in the economy. Also, to the people in the diaspora, the US, Canada, Europe, who are listening on Facebook today, don't join it. Invest in it.
Thank you.
Okay, this is not a club. This is not a social club where we're raising money to prepare for July 26th.
Corporation.
On the football field for kickball game and football game and old timers. No, this is money. We're putting our money to work. We're investing and creating for the first time a Liberian private capital investment fund that will invest in Liberia, create economic transformation, create jobs, and move this country towards industrialization so that our private sector can become bigger and we can actually give Liberians a meaningful place in our own economy.
Thank you.
And in that process, we'll create jobs, we'll empower our youth, empower our women to become stakeholders in this country, in this economy, and then increase our tax base so that we can no longer be so dependent on foreign aid. Okay? Let's go to go ahead down there and you can open the phone lines.
And before I take the first phone call, think about LDEF as an economy booster. So it will be a central location to expand the economy. Those of you who are calling because the guy was talking, I'm going to call Telvi back. She was the first person, and I will call most of you back that I've called. Telvi, if you're listening, the call is coming to you. Please pick it up. We have a lot of people calling, so I just want to make sure I take as many calls as I can. All right, Telvi, go ahead.
Good morning.
You're live.
Happy Saturday.
Good. Happy holiday.
Well, Saturday, the holiday. But first, I'll be very brief. I just want to thank you guys for the initiative. I've been following it off and on, and so I mean, it's a good thing. I think I wrote something very briefly. Yes, I hear all good things, but I think you guys need to keep reinforcing this to build trust. Even though we haven't seen a fund like this, something like that has to do with investing money, but we've seen similar with the other things, and we know us Liberians will play together for a very long time, and we know how even things that have to do with money or just any initiative, it go for a while and then it drop to the side.
Correct.
So it is concerning. It's a good thing, but we have some concerns, and all I can say is that you guys could continue to build trust. If we can invest, somebody say, oh, we'll invest in, I know one of your CEO or whoever C-level said that, oh, we can invest in the other white people funds and 401k. We don't ask questions. Some of us ask questions. My 401k investment, they were looking all red the other day. I had to move my contributions around. I invest in investment on Wall Street, whatever it is. And when things go red, I move my stuff around. Some of us do that. But when it comes to Liberian stuff, we want to invest, but you guys have to build trust. And I like what I'm hearing, and I'll be following, and and I'll be looking at the paper trail because I'm a paper person. I like to see evidence and follow things. So I'll be following. And if everything aligned, no harm in investing. If I can invest in good chips, I can invest in other things. I can invest in my own, but we'll be following. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. We appreciate it so much, and we want people to read through. Next caller, you are live. Caller, you're live.
Yes. Good morning, gentlemen. First of all, my name is Abraham Ellis, commonly called Michael Lloyd. I want to appreciate you guys for the great work and effort that you have put into this. It has been a dream come true. We've been wishing that we have this kind of mind come together for us to be able to invest. We can do it. I just want to call in and make sure that I give you guys a flower. I've been talking about it to other people that I know. I got 2 of my relatives withdraw and invest in this Liberia Diaspora investment. I just try to call in and make my verse heard that I appreciate you all that been following, and we should not even think about it because, as one of the panelists said, we go invest in cryptocurrency and we lost a lot of money because I'm one of those 2. I've done it before, and nobody asks us, "Oh, what a guarantee we'll go there, we invest, and the money goes somewhere," and nobody asks questions. So I hope that we Liberians should not come here with guarantee because we do a lot of things in this country and elsewhere that we don't even know where we put our money.
Thank you.
So I just wanted to say thank you again.
Okay.
And I hope that God bless us and we do this because we can do it.
Thank you. We appreciate your encouragement. We'll take another call. We appreciate your encouragement. Thank you so much. Let's take another call right now.
Let's keep the calls coming. Let's keep the
calls coming. We just want to make sure we take as many calls as we can.
Yeah.
Dr. Toto, I'm calling you back. I missed your call. You're live.
Yeah, this is Dr. Toto.
How you doing, sir? You're live.
Yeah, I do appreciate the great work that you started, and I'm leading to this, and I'm not trying to invest into it. But the only point I want to raise is that never try to restore the confidence level of the Liberian people.
I agree.
Most especially those that invest for somebody invest in cryptocurrency, invest in hyperbrand, and a lot of assistant key in that process. And our Liberian, we have a partner in Liberia that was slip where you go worry saying what are we? So there are a lot of people that coming from that background, so that's trying to restore the confidence level of the people.
I agree.
See that as an opportunity to invest. The only question I want to ask about the market opportunity for this investment and how long it will take for somebody to get a return on their investment.
Thank you, Dr. Toto. And most of the questions are answered. But when you invest the first 5 years, the money is locked in. After 5 years, you can get your returns back. You can pull out after 5 years based on the stock price at that time. So we increase the stock price over time as more profits coming. We adjust the stock price accordingly. Maybe you're buying at $90 in the beginning. Maybe 5 years from now, maybe the price is at $1,000. So anybody coming in at that time, they will have to pay that $1,000. So most of those are explained on the website how you get a return. If you buy the stock, we send you a prospectus. We send you a share purchase agreement in the mail also. So all of them will be explained in your package that we sent you. Thank you so much, sir. And I got another call here. This other person just fell off the line. Caroline Weir, I'm calling you back, madam. And hopefully you answer. Madam Caroline, we are.
Very good calls.
Hi, Caroline, you're live.
Yes, I'm interested in this stuff. Well, I want to know how do we do the payment? Like you do it one time or
no? It's a one-time payment. You can do installment if that's what you want to do.
Is that 2 installment? I just want to know if in 2 installment or one payment.
Okay, so it depends how many shares you want. If you want one share, you have to pay $100. You finish.
I know that, yeah.
Okay, if you want 10 shares, you can pay your 1,000 now. You finish, or you can say, some people call me, say, Mr. Dwalu, I want 10 shares. I will pay you 500. I'll wait till the next month. I pay the other 500. Some people doing it that way too. You understand me? Okay. So those are the options for you. Thanks for the call, though.
Thank you so much.
Okay. And guys, if some of you have any question relating to something you don't fully understand, please call back and we will answer those questions live. Mr. Yinswa was calling me here. Mr. Yinswa, I'm calling you right back right now. Yeah, Mr. Yinswa, you're live on the radio. We are actually live right now. Were you listening to the show or? No. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll call you back. We are live. I think you're calling to call into the show. My apologies. I'll call you back, sir. So I got no more calls coming in.
Let me just highlight one thing. Everyone who's listening on the diaspora side, USA, Canada, or Europe on Facebook, every share you buy is $90, $10 processing fee. So you decide whether you want to buy 5, you want to buy 10, you want to buy 20, you want to buy 1,000 shares. You can do it incrementally. You can go on their site, buy it. They will send you your certificate for your purchase. You want to buy 10 this week, you want to buy 5 this week, $50 at a time. They get up to 1,000. It's all up to you, because as people purchase the shares, we're capitalizing the fund. And once the fund becomes capitalized, the fund then starts to take shape to focus on what investments to put the money into. Okay. So again, that's why I keep telling the CEO, the CFO, and the COO, we've got to educate people, because this is not a susu club.
No.
It's not one person not eating after 6 months or after. No, this is not a susu club. You invest your money. The money stays in, the fund becomes capitalized. All the checks and balances and accountabilities are there. You get your certificate of your purchase. Every time you buy a share, you will get your confirmation. You will get your confirmation every time you buy. And what the fund will do, the fund will then look at the Liberian landscape and find out where is the best place to inject and invest this money to give you, the shareholder, a return on your investment.
Thank you.
This is how it works. And by making that investment, economic transformation takes place. Jobs are created, development is done, quality of life is improved, and then through that economic transformation, that's where industrialization takes place. They can invest in a strip mall. They can put solar, they can people start processing cassava, they start packaging it, bringing it into the market in Monrovia and selling it. All of those things become jobs, take the kids off the street, because now mom and pop got a job and the quality of. So all of this is an ecosystem, if I can use that word. We got a call. Let's go.
Let me take this call real quick. Caller, you're live. You're live, caller.
Hello, Talvina again. I just have a quick question.
Okay.
So question there, I know I saw something in the comment section that you guys are selling the share for $100 a share. Are you guys doing fractional shares or not now?
No, we are not doing fractional share. One share is straight up, simple, straightforward.
It's $90. It's $90 with a $10 processing fee.
Correct.
Because for some poor people who can afford $100 say, okay, I got my $25, I got my $15.
Oh yeah, no, we're not fractioning the shares. No.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. I will get you another caller right now. Caller, if you can call back very quickly. Now I know most of you. I have a lot of webinars that I will be posting to my YouTube page. Those of you here in New England, you can go to Eventbrite. We are hosting the first in-person live. If you went on my page, I will send it to you. If you can post this up on the flyer. If you can come in person, ask some of your questions. We'll be having a town hall meeting across America. Whatever Liberians are, we got 200-300 Liberians in our location. We will come there. We will rent a hall. We will sell tickets. You will come in. It's a black tie event. And the goal will be, in order to educate, explain what's happening, how to raise money. We got to raise this $25 million. If we don't raise the money, we cannot do what we're saying we want to do. It costs money for investment. It costs money to have Asset quit his job, for me to quit my job, for all the officers that we will hire to quit the job, the board of directors, etc., etc. This is a registered corporation. It will be run like any corporation here in America. This is the intent. So I want you guys to think beyond the typical. That's the goal here.
And also, I just wanted to make a point.
Go ahead, Ms. Fatima.
You know, I heard some people, I've been reading some of the comments, and I hear people, it's okay to have doubts. You know, it is okay to have doubts. Every new thing that you invest in, it's a risk. Everything is a risk in life. But the fact that I'm just saying that we are encouraging you to be part of your own country, to be a part of your own country's development, to ensure that Liberians are in charge of their own economy. You know, gone are the days where Lebanese people should be in charge of our economy, employing our people, talking to our people any kind of way. Chinese people, you know, having China more in Liberia. You can go to China and have Liberia more there. I mean, let's just be for real. You know, so these are the things that we want you guys to look at and make sure we don't, you know, we're for me, it's never personal for me for people to say anything they want to say, but it's personal that we want to be in charge of our own economy. We want to drive it. And all of us collectively, all of you that are making these comments, all of you that are participating, collectively, we can do this. We can move our country forward. We are, at this point, we are pleading with you. We are even begging some of you to come on board. It takes each one of you that is on board that will do something to make Liberia go forward. We're asking you to do so. Okay, so we're here just talking. We'll continue to talk to you. We'll continue to encourage people. Our own family members are getting on board, because it's a good effort. It's a good endeavor for you to see. We want to see street lights in every aspect of Liberia. We want to see running water in every part of Liberia. We want to make sure our young boys are in school, after like 12th graders are having part-time jobs like they do here in America. We want to make sure our children have a fruitful and rewarding future. We want to make sure that our young people know that when I get out of school, I won't be sitting at home, you know, going to sell market. There will be an industry out there somewhere that will employ me. We want to decentralize Monserrato. Everybody jam-packed in the city. If opportunities are in each and every county, guess what? Our people will go there. Our people will look for those opportunities. So those are the things that we're trying to do. And if you guys support this endeavor, okay, you will be a part of history where Kim, one of the Liberians that joined this, and moved our country.
Made it happen. Yeah.
So you're
go ahead, brother.
Okay, go ahead, Caller, you're live. Caller, you're live.
Yeah, hello. My name is Koto Bologna. I'm calling from Jersey. I have a concern, and you know, Eduardo, I've been even texting you. I wanted some clarification, and you did not get to me up to this time.
You call plenty, you know that all.
You know you and I talking. That was the case.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be here. Let's okay, I heard you saying that after the phone should have matured, we will identify a project or a business to invest in. Is it that there have not been a business that have been identified to undertake or to start with? That has been said?
Let me answer you very quickly. We identified several businesses to invest into. However, we cannot finalize on a business that we do not raise the money. So we can't say we're going to invest into rest mechanization when that requires $10-15 million. That cannot be finalized. So we identify at least 5 to 7 businesses to invest into. And if we select a business, we will come back to you shareholders and say, listen, we decided to invest into large-scale fishing farming. Do you approve or disapprove? So we vote on it as a group, and then we invest into that business. So we have selected businesses, but we have not finalized on the business.
Okay, another thing is, has there been a time frame, like where this establishment will have kicked in, like because sometimes some people get frustrated. It takes 6 months, it takes a year or year plus that we don't see the process taking place. Is there any time that a person can say, okay, since I'm not seeing the progress I'm not saying it's been fruitful that I can withdraw my fund.
Thank you. Great question. Great question. I want people to disabuse their minds that this is an overnight venture. I want you to think about this thing as long term. When you buy a share, we send you a share purchase agreement. Your commitment from the date of first investment. So your commitment is for 5 years, 5 years minimum. So after 5 years, you can cash out. But when we are raising the money, that time does not count because we are doing nothing with the money. The money just going into an account. So the very first 1 year, we are raising the money. So you cannot call me tomorrow and say, oh, what my interest? We ain't doing nothing with the money yet. So we send you a share purchase agreement and we send you a prospectus. They explain everything we intending to do. So there's an agreement. This is a contract, a legally binding contract here in America. If I default or I do fully know your money, I go into serious jail. So everything is legally documented.
Yeah, to clarify. Then you tell the person, within a year or 5-year period, you are not to expect a return. Is that specified in the contract? Because
yes,
if that is the case, then they know that in that period you are in the investment process.
Yeah, we say that, Mama. We've said that a billion times, and it's also in your perspective that we sent you. On the website, it's everywhere. By law, we have to tell you. So everything is said out there, but it's a good question that you've asked. Yes, that is made explicit.
All right, thank you for the adventure. Even though you didn't get back to me, but okay,
I in trouble with plenty of people. Trust me, I'm trying. I need to quit my job and do this full time. That's my next move. That's what I'm fighting to do.
Let me just inject something here, Dwalo. I think one of the challenges that we Liberians have, right? We should, again, challenges are great because they all, they challenge us to kind of to rise above it, to grow above it.
Yeah.
We need to, spend time on the Liberia Diaspora Equity Fund website.
Correct.
We need to acquaint ourselves. We need to spend the time on educating ourselves, reading all of the information. All of the information is there.
Yeah.
Everything that we need to do to read to become an informed and educated and enlightened investor, everything is there. This is long-term investment. This is not, again, this is not a Susu club where you put your money in January and then by December, everybody gets a payout to buy Christmas gifts. It does not work that way. We're planting to harvest 5 years from now. We're building a financial instrument from the diaspora perspective that will ultimately be a bridge for us to engage with our economy, our society on the ground, to bring about economic transformation, not in Monrovia, but across the entire country. This takes time. This is not even if you're building a bridge, you have to get the machines there. That takes time. The machines have to dig. That takes time. You got to get the steel. That takes time. You have to dig. That takes time. Even the road that was built from Banga to Ganta, it took time. So we have to grow to that level of understanding that this is something that will take time. For me, if I choose, I am going to engage in this. I'm going to actively engage in this process.
You will get on board. You're not just engaging.
Because I believe that that the economics, only the economics can transform the politics in our country.
Yeah.
That's the only way the politics gets transformed. We've got to engage economically to transform the politics so that the right people get to the level of leadership that will transform districts and counties and move the country forward. It's the only way. The private sector must become the what? The kingmaker. Am I right, Fatima? The only way the private sector must become the kingmaker.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The kingmaker, the person who decides, who sits there, must be the private sector, must be the business community. People all, right now today, people are talking about Elon Musk and everything. Who is he? He's the kingmaker.
He's the kingmaker. Yeah.
He's the kingmaker.
Absolutely.
He's the kingmaker. The man's a businessman. He made a decision. He made an investment, and look at his return on investment. Don't get upset with the game. Don't get upset with the player. Learn the rules. We need, as Liberians, to play an active role in our economy. We need to invest in the LDEF, because the LDEF can become the mechanism to transform this country, to create jobs, grow the private sector, and give Liberians a stake in their own economy. So that's what this thing is all about. So just think long term.
Yeah.
Don't look at Dwalu, don't look at Ava, don't look at Fatima for how long you've been knowing Fatima. She's been on this show. No, look at her for the content of her character and what she has. I'm being very honest, because if you only look at Fatima, then that becomes the limitation.
Correct.
If you only look at what Dwalu, I've been knowing Dwalu from GW Gibson, all used to be playing gutter boy, then you will never be able to see the capability and the ability that Dwalu can bring to transform a whole nation. If you're only looking at Ava, my man, myself used to be on Snapper Hill, we used to play gutter ball there, we used to hang out at this place. No. That Ava you knew is gone. But you got to work with the Ava of today. And that's where, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, the point you're making, and I want people to understand this. Tomorrow, this is a Liberian Diaspora Corporation. After this thing is formulated and we become full-blown, Dwalu may not be the CEO. Asi may not be the CFO. Somebody else can come in. Maybe tomorrow, Shelby Cole becomes the COO of the corporation.
Very good point. Very good point.
Not farm. This is for
very, very good point. Oh, yes. You just, okay. So let's expand on that. No, we've got 2 more minutes.
Yeah.
This is not Dwalu's company.
No. The shareholders can vote you out.
This is not Fatima's company.
No.
This is not Ava's company.
Nope.
This is a shareholder entity.
Yeah.
So again, if the voting rights of this corporation is based on how many shares you have, if you want to decide the destiny of the company, of the corporation, buy more shares.
Buy more shares.
Because if it is that one vote equal one share, I want to have 1,000 votes.
If I'm doing the wrong job, they vote me out.
They vote you out.
You put me out. We'll get a new CEO.
Because the way this thing is going to work is when the LDEF, they're going to put up maybe 5 investments, 5 options, and they want the shareholders to vote on which one they should focus on first, second, third, and fourth, and fifth.
Correct.
It's not Dwalu's decision. It's not Alva's decision. It's not Fatima's decision. It's the shareholders. And if the rules are that every shareholder gets 1 vote or every share gets a vote, the more shares you have, the more votes you have to decide on whether the money goes to the telecom infrastructure, to the solar infrastructure investment, or to the cassava processing plant or the rice processing plant. So that's how it's going to work. If you feel that the CEO is not doing the right job, vote him out.
Vote him out. 1 second. You were coming. Let me just answer this person. Yeah. Calling back to back.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. You're live.
I'm Jonah. I just pay for another share, sir.
Oh, okay. If you pay for another share, we're live right now. I'm processing today, and then we'll go from there. Okay, Jonah, I'll call you back.
People are buying.
Please let me to close because
go ahead, Fatima. You can close and go.
Yeah. I would just like to appreciate each and every person who came on here today to be a part of this. I know we're not on a gossip show to talk about Liberian and disgrace our people, so we won't have a lot of people here. But this is very, very important to us. This is something that is dear to our hearts. We are sick and tired of other people being in charge of our country and our economy. We would like to be part of our own country, being the driving force behind our country. It's not only a man's thing. It's not. That's why Dwalu and Ava thought it wise to put me on, because they want us to know that the sisters are every economy in the world is built on the backbones of women as well. So they want everyone on board. And how can we do this? We can buy shares. Shares are $90 a piece. Each share is $90 plus $10 processing fee. These shares, in simple English, because I think we got to continue to educate and re-educate and re-educate. But the thing that I liked the most about it was that I was explaining it to my mother and her sisters, who she called me. She said, they said Dwalu them good at her Dwalu business, not easy. She said Dwalu then selling something. Say, what did they selling? Said, in the future we can leave it for our grandchildren. So her sister asked her, what did they selling? That coconut, otherwise say, plenty. So she said, plenty. But Fatu will tell you. So they call me, and when you're fasting, and when you break the fast, as soon as you eat, can be so tired and sleepy.
Yeah.
So day before yesterday, they called me, and I had to explain to them. I said, well, this is what it is. We're selling something. The white people can get it. It's just in the air. We buy it. To all now will hold the money, they will put it in someone and bang. That money will be there. That money you pay $90 for one of those things you want, but it's better to buy 10, because when you buy 10 in the beginning, or for then she said, how much for each one? I said at $90, but $10 for us to process it, to make sure we get all your paper. Because when you buy the thing, we gotta give you paper to say the paper here is for you. The paper that is show that you came and you bought your thing is for you. We'll send it in your we'll send it to you after you buy that 10, which is 90 times 10. Okay, then a $10 fee. That will make it $1,000. You send out $1,000. Dwalu will not take it. He will send you big paper. That paper that they want showing that you put your money to the player. We'll go to Liberia. If you say, my people, we won't go to Cape Man. The way Cape Man put their fish business, let open fishing company over there. Let buy plenty of boat and give it to our people then to be doing it. We invest in our one day. We bring the fish business up. We paying the people good, so the people can live well and catch the fish, and we'll be having our own coast story. We'll be sending it to our own Liberian people. And so the second thing, Dwalu say, why is it that we must sit down and buy everything that we use in our country? Why we can't face it by ourselves? We start importing, wait for the ship to come for months to bring it to our country. Why we can't face it there? I said, Dwalu say, we'll look at one country, we'll say, like a wheelbarrow company. Then all of our vote, will say, yeah, like a wheelbarrow company. In Bon County, when we start facing our wheelbarrow, we'll tell our government, because when you get money, you become very powerful. We don't want no foreign people to bring wheelbarrow in our country. We're making our own wheelbarrow. Why I want people to buy it from us? We'll stop the importation of wheelbarrow in our country. What happening? We are taking charge of our own country. When we say soap, the people ordering white people soap to come in our country to wash our clothes. When we open soap country, we say we'll open it now one day in Bapolu. Then Dwalu say the soap here that we're facing for our own people, we'll sell it on our market. Nobody bringing soap into our country again.
Nobody.
The Oman say, come on. Look at that thing that we're supposed to do. They will all our children and you know plenty boy, you know good thing a day. You will go, let God bless you. So she and all her sisters there now, they're looking for that $1,000 to buy the share. So if our man can understand, then she heard last night. Honestly, you gotta forgive me. Last night she called two of her friends and but I can call them into the call me. And here Fatu, the thing when they say Dwalu and the other boy with the boy here, they trying to I didn't know your name. The other boy with the boy here, like all I used to be on spoon. The thing when they say they're trying to do your math, explain it to me, but I want you to tell me. I say until that tomorrow. Today they say, hey man, but you want your man to leave up behind all the money we do it, we pay, we taking care of the people children and they give you all the money. We want give it to you so you can go face Liberia. Like the woman, yeah. The thing last night I come and I will call them today, but the woman, yeah, they won't be here. They are upset. They won't go back to their country. She was talking, well, yeah, I beg you for you gotta explain it to your man. Just tell me, says Dwalu will open soap play there. You will tell me will open wheelbarrow play there, and you will open. It's for me. I want you to explain. I say, okay, Ete, tomorrow I will tell you about
tomorrow investment class.
Nobody I will have an investment class to tell them. What we're trying to say, we will not be tired. We'll never get tired to educate our people. That is the thing. When you're starting something, these are the things that we go through. We have to explain. We will talk, but we'll not get tired because what we want. And don't see how we're making half your thing with vest. Me, I can get vest. You know me, they not drag me on the Facebook up and down or all kind of thing. But when it comes to Liberia, I can never get tired. We educate, re-educate, educate our people about what we are trying to do. This thing is bigger than all of us. It's bigger than anybody that will go. You think when I will go to Liberia, will bid, how they call it, stores or cold storage, how they can call it. You think when Bede will leave the road in front of the cold storage to be dusty? No. We make sure we plaster the whole place so dust can be there. Those are some of the investment. When we sit down, when we look, we say we're making soap factory. Oh, our lecturer, they want your that name and call Zogo. Me, I don't believe in any Zogo. I just believe they are traumatized Liberian youth that need to be put to work, that will have, people like us go and talk to them about their self-esteem, improve their self-esteem, put them to work, and they start having self-worth, and they will become somebody. So those are the things that we are undertaking. I beg you, each one, teach one, talk to one, tell them about it, that the Liberia Diaspora Equity Fund is around. We are here to take our economy from the Lebanese. We are here to take our economy from the Chinese. They say if you know better, you do better. We were here, we ran away from our country. We did not have the financial abilities and to do what we could do. But if you look at the amount of funds that the diaspora sends to Liberia every year,
of course,
we can do this. We can do this.
We can do this.
The old man who just holding baby inside the house, asking to buy it, to leave it for their grandchildren. Then I said, then I told them, I said, fire. They said, fire? You can't make it 10 years. I said, no, Omar. That's how we start in 5 years. You see, they're even thinking about leaving something behind for their children. So I beg you. I think this took us too long to do. But you know what? They say the journey that starts today is a journey forever. So join us. Let's put our hands together. Let's put hands around each other. Let's work to move our country forward. My people, I got to work.
Thank you so much, Fatima.
But I'm glad to be here. Y'all know these two gentlemen. I'm honored. And Mr. Phillips, that one of that our LEC, our life guru here. These two gentlemen, I've known them most of my adult life, and I trust them with everything that I know. I even trust some of them more than myself. Because me, I go to Liberia, somebody give me something, when somebody can cry to me, I will take it and give it to them. But if I was in my people, they want for an intended purpose, I can't do it. Somebody asks a question, say, but in Liberia, now how will do it? When I get to Liberia, which is in the next week or two, when I get to Liberia, we'll open an account there. I will go on a talk show. I will talk about all the major talk shows. I will go there. I will talk about it. I will explain to you where I will be. Anybody want to meet me, I will publish my phone number. You can get to me. Me and you will go to the bank. I will deposit the money in the account. I will give you your receipt. You will be ready. I will text it to Dualu and Ava, and they will update the ledger. This is for Liberia. It's for Liberians. It's for our country. I beg you, join your hand behind us. Let's be tired. Let's be the ones to be kingmaker. They're not gonna want Elon Musk or born they were here. But they're not want Elon Musk.
But the key is the point I was bringing up about Elon Musk is the concept.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. There's not gonna want Elon Musk.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
I've been investing in business from the time I decided to have boyfriend. Yeah. Yes. You bet from the time when someone get passing around Liberia, I've Dualu took everything I ever worked from in here and went to Liberia to invest. So when you see these men talking, they're not just talking because they want to talk. They're talking because, of course, they know what they are talking about. They're tired of seeing our people suffering. And me, I'm a proud woman today to call them my brothers, to call them the people that are driving this thing, because I know they will make all Liberians proud. I will preach. I will go on the ground. I will look for investors. I will look for people everywhere. And in my capacity, as your youngest councilwoman, I will make sure anything that comes to Liberia that they can benefit from, they will benefit from it. So I beg you guys to please excuse me. We thank each and every one of you that came here today to contribute, texting, writing. Our guest Kim Kine just reinforming
She's the official secretary for the LDEF.
Our own diehard Kim Kine would thank you so much.
Official secretary for the LDEF.
All of you, every one of you. Thank you so much. God will bless you. God will keep you. My brothers, I thank you. Phil, we'll talk. I will soon be leaving for Liberia. Liberia will become my life for the next 6 to 7 years. I'm going back to my country, and maybe even forever. Because not Kanya. I tell you, I won't go back to my country. But I still got youth in me to go and do something for my country.
So you do good.
You do good. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Fatima. Have a great day.
Yeah.
Thank you for participating.
Bye-bye.
Yes.
So again, I mean, as we prepare to close, I think we got 14 minutes. We can end it at the bottom of the hour if there are no more calls coming in. I mean, I love the whole idea, the atmosphere, the environment around everything today. Very positive, very, very positive. And again, to the LDEF team, let's continue.
Yes.
The platform is here. All we do every Saturday, Alva and I, we talk about business. Well, that's all we talk about.
Yeah.
So if you want to, again, I mean, there's a role for the LDEF in the platform every Saturday. Why
Correct.
do I say that? Because we're trying to get Liberians out of this employee mindset into the employer mindset to transform the country. And we want to educate and enlighten the Liberians at home in the business sector, help them with ideas, concepts, anything that can help them to elevate and to get to the next level. So the LDEF is the key instrument now. There's no better time for the LDEF. When we in the tropics, when we in the tropics can import orange juice, grapefruit juice, guava juice from the Sinai, from Egypt, in the desert, Liberia, we have a problem. We have a problem.
I agree.
We're importing mango juice from the guy in the Sinai, that is a desert.
Fruit sporting in relay. I want you to think about the concept.
That's what I'm saying. So, the solo juice, you buy any solo juice in Morocco, you look on the side of it. It comes from Egypt.
Yeah.
It comes from Egypt. So the guy in the desert is exporting his juice that he transformed the desert into a tropical paradise to plant grapefruit, guava, mango, and oranges, process the juice using the same electricity, using the same mindset of humans, back to the guy who is sitting in the tropics with all the orange juice and the mango trees. We have a problem. And this is where LDEF comes in, when private capital can transform, can take that and see that opportunity. Alva was talking about balance of trade. This is how we can change that. Correct me if I'm wrong, Alva. That's how we can change it. Because the LDEF can now invest in a juicing plant, and then the growers of those fruits can become the people who supply the fruits that is now processed, and then we can reduce the importation and supply and meet the market. So I think, for those who are sitting on the fence, I hope those sitting on the fence can, make your investment. It's a $10, $90 per share, $10 processing fee. Invest in something that is good, that will bring about transformation, that will move this country forward and give Liberians a foothold in their economy. Let us take back, our economy. And in the words of Barack Obama, yes, we can. Yes, we can do this. We can do this because we're already sending the money.
Let me say this to you. Look, I want people to understand this. We are in a privileged position, especially those of us here in the diaspora. There is a duty that is far greater than each of us. I'm not intending to preach, and that duty is to somehow find a way to effectuate some change in the country. And I don't want you to think about, I've had people say, Mr. Dwalu, Liberia is risky. This one's happening. If you go to Liberia, no light, it got too many mosquitoes. I can tell you, every country you see around the globe that is developed, that we troop to now for so-called vacation, they started from somewhere. These risks must be taken. These risks must be taken. If we cannot take those risks, and we don't do something to transform the country, our country remain as is. Mounting here is, we are willing to put in the time and the commitment. Like I said to everybody, my biggest dream now is to find a way to pull away from my job, to do this 100%, because this could be a great legacy for you and I, Mr. Phillips, or Alva and Fatima and everybody else who will join this team. Like I said, we will have to bring on board additional 3 to 4 other people to help us raise this money. It's not going to be an easy feat. Some people say, Mr. Dwali, you have not returned my call. I got 2 brothers that I shipped the certificate. They ordered 70 certificate that went out. 2 did not get to those people. They're angry at me right now. And sometimes by the time I come, so it's like a back and forth thing. We need people to be able to raise this money. And this is something we must leave to our children. We cannot leave Liberia in this state. Something has to get done. And all of us got to do it together. I don't know how, but I just have to say that.
No, I think that this is a good start. Without a doubt, this is a good start. You know, everything in the longest journey, we talked about the sequoia tree, we talked about the sequoia seed. Every long journey starts with the first step. And there's no greater time to invest in an instrument, a financial instrument that is being created by the diaspora initiative. Okay, diaspora creativity, ingenuity. I mean, this is what people need to invest in. People have always been looking for a way.
Yeah.
So many people have sent money home, and they can only ask themselves, they can only show the chaos, the misery, the loss, the regret. I mean, some people go into PTSD over how much money they've lost in Liberia.
Yeah.
So if this instrument, this LDEF, the Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund, is a U.S.-based investment entity created by diaspora under U.S. laws. There's full accountability, checks and balances, legality. Every I has been dotted, every T has been crossed.
Absolutely.
Everything has been done. Go to the website, learn about it, invest your money. Your money is in there. It's a long-term investment. It's not something, it's not a susu club, it's not a community organization where you save it for July 26th celebration or Christmas money. No, this is a long-term investment that will bring economic transformation, and this LDEF can become what? The kingmaker to bring about economic transformation in the country. And that's what we need. That's the Liberia we all hope for, dream for, or desire. And the only way we start building it is by investing today and letting that process go through. Support the leadership. You can't be outside the stadium and then you want to decide what happens in the stadium. Buy a share. Start with what? $90 plus $10 processing. Buy two. Look at your SendWave app and see how much money you sent and ask yourself, what did you get back?
I see over 10 people here that bought shares. Over 10 people so far that bought over 10 shares. Yeah.
So this is something that works. If we want it to work, let us take our collective energies and drive it and support this. Let's elevate this so that it can become the instrument that we want to transform the country. People are asking you to put the link back up there again.
The link is there. Liberian Diaspora.
Let's look on.
Let me explain that real quickly. Some people, when you go to the website, you have a website link. Go to the website. If you read, I would recommend you read through some of the documents. But if you don't read it or you don't want to read, you click on Buy Share. It will take you to a page. You fill out the form. You send your money by Zelle, or you send your money by PayPal, or you walk into any Bank of America, you deposit your money, or you transfer your money. I will get a trigger. When you click submit, I will get your form. I will input your form into the system. I will call you to verify. I will ask you for your beneficiary, who you want the money to go to. God forbid something happens to you. It can go to your son, your daughter, your sister. They can be anywhere in the globe. You get your certificate. We keep a copy here. A copy is kept in the cloud. And I get an old-fashioned log just to the backup to the backup to the backup. Let me show them. So I added a board, an old-fashioned log. That after I show everything, I still catalog your name here just to make sure everything is done legally.
Everything is done legally. Yeah. So it's a good instrument, people. It's a good. I mean, this is building an $800 million bridge.
Correct.
That Liberian diaspora send back over $800 million in remittance every year to Liberia, but we've got nothing to show for it.
Nothing.
The expats in our economy, they're sucking that money, they're drawing that money out, and they're exporting that money. So we're not seeing the true economic benefit of that money. Very, very little of it, touches or makes a difference or transform our economy and the lives of people. This instrument that we're creating, that these guys have created, is an instrument that would truly, that would transform things. You cannot fix the car. You can take the car to the mechanic. If the mechanic doesn't have the tools, the car can't be fixed because he simply doesn't have the tools. So if we want Liberia to be transformed economically and on the infrastructure and job creation side, industrialization, then this is the tool that we all must invest in so that this tool can be used to transform the country.
Yes, you can
This is
buy
the
from
best
anywhere
way.
in the globe. You can buy from anywhere across the globe. You can buy up to 5,000 shares. So we capped each person to 5,000 shares because we don't want one person controlling the organization. You can buy from anywhere in the world. You can buy.
You don't want to Elon Musk sitting beside you.
Thank you. We want Liberians to have control, so you can buy up to 5,000 shares per person.
Okay.
So if you found in your family, we issued 275,000 shares. That's the first issue. And so when I've shared fini. Going forward, before the organization issue any additional share, the shareholders that are currently in the organization have to agree.
We will have to decide. Yes.
If they say no, we can issue no more share. So if you're not in, you got voice.
You got voice.
Yeah,
You be looking. That's no that. So what Dwalu I'm about to make both. I got let me crack a joke so Alva can laugh. Yeah. What Dwalu just described is the true LDEF smell, no taste.
Yes.
You don't invest now, you will just smell it, but you will not taste it. Because when the shareholder decide that that the 25,000 shares will lock it in, will enjoy our equity ourselves, then you will only smell, but you can't taste it. That's just it. Dwalu just described it. So get in now. Participate now, be an owner now, be a participant now, and let's drive this thing because you don't want it to get to that place where all the shares have been maxed out and then the shareholders are deciding and say, you know what, we don't want any more people coming in. That's it.
Yeah.
So
then they come in at $600 per share.
That's it. Yeah. So we said we put our money in now. Let us gain equity. Let it be instead of $90 per share. Let it be $180 or let it be $150 per share. And then everybody who coming in now, guess what? The shareholders, the old shareholders will earn that $50 per share as equity. So it's important you get in now because you don't even know who all are watching this. You don't know who all are watching this. There might be people who are who are even expats who are saying, you know what, this is a great opportunity, who would jump into this. So this is our way of creating private equity and private capital to drive and bring about transformation in the country. So I think let everybody do their closing. We got 6 minutes. Alva, go ahead. Do your closing and I'll close. You're on mute.
I was trying to share and I was on mute. So let me just share a couple of things because people are already reaching out. Okay. This is somebody who shared with me the study on the rocks. They want to do crushed rocks. And they would love for LDEF to partner with them with all the construction going on and everything. But it's still something we got to look at. So we invite people who have stuff. And typically he said lead is like 54% is usually the highest level. And the rock on his property is at 52.95% lead. So he's saying this quality rock that he has that will be in demand. And I know there are 1 or 2 other countries in Africa that want to import rocks from Liberia. Yep. So the opportunity for us to do things is really huge. Another person sent me something about their farm, right? They just say, how can we you know, kind of participate and expand the effort in terms of what they're doing. Let me show you the video they sent. They're doing a lot of nursery and stuff like that. So these are the kind of things we're talking about. You know, engaging with these people. I don't know if y'all can see this nursery.
Yeah, we can see a lot of plants as it's clear.
Yeah. So, you know,
fish farming. In fact, I had some people reach out, they're doing some tilapia and catfish farming to see if we can expand.
Exactly. So there's a lot of people doing positive things on the ground. It's about joining them. We don't have to reinvent the wheel for some things. Correct. We just got to flesh it up a little bit, straighten some things, be clear about processes, about financials, and be able to invest and add value to those kind of things. There's like nearly 20,000 seedlings of pawpaw that this person is doing for somebody's farm. I have a friend who is doing pineapples. He needs 16 million heads of pineapples. He has a tropical juice business here in the US, and he wants to supply pineapple. But he also, the same thing we're talking about in terms of creating a facility that will be able to get certification from the FDA. He wants to do that. He wants to do cold storage. So people are doing great things, and if we can not even partner but promote those people so that other Liberians can see it and want to do the same or invest or do something different and see the opportunities, that would be great. So folks, let's not shy away from what we can do for our country, how we can participate, how we can provide input. A lot of opportunities there. And let's keep engaging, because we'll keep talking. Like Fatima said, we'll not get tired.
Yeah, we'll not get tired.
We'll keep talking to people. We'll keep engaging. I'm going to start calling a lot of my friends. Many of them are high net worth. They got disposable income. They even put 5,000 in LDEF. It will not kill you. So just expect my call. If you're a friend of mine, you're out there, expect my call. I will use my entire Rolodex. Let me see how many person number I got in my phone right now. In terms of
let me
close.
Yeah,
I just want to drop that home very quickly.
Yeah,
and my people, the thing Asa just spoke about. Go ahead, just slip my mind. Go ahead.
One of the things that the LDEF should consider, okay, is rubber processing. There's so many small Liberian farmers, rubber growers, but the challenge they have is that they grow the rubber, but they don't have the ability to process it, to add value to it. So if the LDEF could find somebody who has land, right? Who has land, 10, 15, 20, 30, 50, whatever number of acres, and then let that land get a 500 kilowatt, 1 megawatt solar farm to power up the rubber processing plant. Then what happens is the Liberian rubber growers can now bring their rubber, process it, and guess what? They can now sell it as TSR, technically specified rubber, to their own customers around the world, and grow in wealth. That's the reason why we don't have wealth and so-called money or profitability in the rubber sector. Simply because there's no value added for the local guy. So my older brother himself has a rubber farm. Joe, I know my other close friend and brother, Robert Morris, they all have rubber farm. But the problem is they don't have the rubber. They've got their possible people in UK, anywhere in Europe who wants to buy what they call TSR, technically specified rubber. The guy tells you what the specifications should be for the rubber you process for him, and then he will buy it. 10, 15, 20, 44 containers per month. But the thing is, if the LDEF could get this capital investment and buy the rubber processing line from Thailand or from Malaysia, deployed in Liberia on a 200, 300 acre property, build a solar farm with battery storage, right? And that will power up this thing 24/7.
You can see my screen?
Yeah, we see.
I can see your screen. Yeah. And that's a dedicated critical investment. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let's just explain and put a difference here, right? So Firestone sent a circular the other day, say they will buy rubber at $643 per wet ton.
Is that US dollar?
Right?
Is that US dollars?
Yeah, $644 US, right?
Okay.
But they say if they downgrade it, maybe you got some dirt in your rubber or whatever, they'll pay you 20% less. So that means you will get $513. The price of rubber on the world market, they usually use kilograms, right? Cents per kilogram. It's $4.50 US cents. $4.50 US, right?
US cents,
per kilogram. And in a ton, you got 1,000 kilograms in a ton.
Yeah.
So if you multiply that stuff by the 1,000, right?
There you go.
You come here to $2,000. So this
scroll down. Scroll down.
Huh?
So scroll down so the screen can come up. It's just above. Yeah, there you go. That's better.
Perfect.
Oh, okay. I was not looking at it.
Yeah, it's good.
So let me see. I'll move it. Oh, I see the top part. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Scroll
the
down.
price on the world market, we see it over here. Now, if we can get a kilogram, 1 kilogram, which is $201, right? Times the 1,000. So that's the difference between where Firestone, the 644, versus the 2,000 at 1,300. Yes, they got expenses and everything, and they're making profit, but we know their profit is huge. So
Huge.
we have the opportunity to enter this space as well. Look, the mineral space, the natural resource space, the import and export space, the retail, the distribution, all of those spaces are spaces we can enter. They have room for Liberians, especially if you had the resources to compete, which we have not had. And if we can start doing it and other people see it, it will have a snowball effect.
And the key thing about this, when the LDEF is the one who owns and operates with its own team, right? That rubber processing plant.
Yep.
The LDEF will be the one to sell the rubber. So everybody sells their rubber through the LDEF. So just imagine how much wealth. So if John Doe has his own offtake of the processed rubber in India, wherever the case is, that transaction goes through the LDEF. So the LDEF also earns from that as well. So this is a long-term recurring revenue source. And then those who invested in the LDEF to do this investment on the ground, that's where your long-term equity recurring money comes from.
Comes from.
That's it. So just the rubber sector. So when you look at the rubber sector today, the reason why Firestone is so profitable is simply because Firestone doesn't pay for electricity.
They buy it too cheap.
No, they're not buying it. They build the hydro on our Farmington River.
Build their own hydro.
They build their own hydro.
Yeah.
And we did not charge them per gallon for the water that they use to generate the power.
Correct.
To process the rubber. So we didn't understand the agreement that we were getting in. That's why they're profitable. So that's why when you don't bring understanding to the table, you bring the wrong people to the table to negotiate. You don't get cheated. You just negotiate a bad deal because they simply didn't understand.
Well, pay for it, but they don't pay for
it. The water is a natural resource. It's no different than the iron ore. What's the difference between the iron ore that is depletable and the water? So why didn't we charge them for the water? But let us not digress. But I'm just saying, the rubber sector has to be one of the sectors that the LDEF truly considers. The rubber lines from Malaysia, they're less than $1 million.
Thank you.
They're less than $1 million.
Yeah.
And if that investment is done, then you build it also with a solar farm to provide a 24/7, 365 electricity like Firestone, then you can compete and offer the rubber growers a better price for their rubber. And then
people keep pushing this question. Let's answer it. They say, I think Firestone will layer. The guy tells me Firestone will layer kind of Liberia or do anything. Let me tell you something. We don't expect anybody to roll over in Liberia and give us anything. I don't expect the tire importer that have monopolized the business in Liberia to give me anything. But here's the thing you're forgetting. We are coming in as a conglomerate with some resources.
That's exactly right.
Our country. Now, as we grow, we'll get some influence. If we create an alternative to rubber sellers,
that's exactly right.
If he's buying it at $800, nobody's going to tell rubber to Firestone. Firestone can crowd block all they want. Our goal now would be, and as I said something, with the FDA approval, I want to say this, it is easier for a corporation to get the approval than for an individual. So we were
exactly right. That's exactly right.
It's easier to get to the importation from Liberia because the corporation can process it. We have an infrastructure set up to be able to do that.
That's exactly right.
This is the intent, guys.
Yeah. And the thing is this.
And there's even there's even opportunity for raw stuff. For us to import raw stuff and package it in the US, in Europe as well. Right. So the opportunities are huge. And we understand. Look, I just want to give a shout out to Kim Kai for the way she has been very interactive with everybody, very positive, prominent. So Kim, thank you.
Our official documenter.
Thank you for working so hard. You're a great communicator. You are engaging people. But let people understand. Look, nobody is liked by everybody. There is no one person in the world LeBron James, who's supposedly the greatest player. There's so many haters, millions of haters for him. So for us to expect that everybody will like this, no, people reject this idea for numerous reasons, and many of them will be valid. But that does not mean we can overcome those valid objections to what we're trying to do. So
let it be our motivation.
For those who are convinced, or those who need to be convinced, we can always have this discussion. We can talk about it. We can spread it. Somebody asked about if we have in-person workshops. Yes, We talked about it earlier. We'll do road shows. We'll come into communities. Twalu, send me that flyer again. Let me post it so that people can see the first physical presence of people. But in the meantime, while we're waiting, we'll be talking about this. We'll come on, let people come and ask questions, any kind of question you want. Maybe we may not have the answers for everything, but there's something called research and there's something called reach back. There are people, other professionals behind, or Liberian professionals who may understand this thing better than us that we can reach back to for them to explain. There are other things that people bring us on topics and stuff. Why don't you do this? Why we can research also and try to understand the direction they're coming from. So we are not opposed to the opposition. We're not opposed to other Liberians doing the same thing starting today. All we want is a better Liberia. If they can do it and do it better, wonderful. You know, we don't have a problem. We're not shying away from criticisms or, you know, people demanding or asking. No, we embrace you, we answer you. We may not agree with you sometimes, and our solution, our answer may be different from yours, but that mutual respect that we can be in a marketplace of ideas, a marketplace of different interests and opportunities, and we can all have a space to operate is what we want to develop. That's how competition can grow, and that's how Liberia can get better. So, folks, is no objection in terms of you criticizing us. Yes.
Let me add something to this to this point, right? I think one of the challenge for us Liberians is that, you know, whenever we see something new, everybody moves back. You get my point? Yeah. Once it's something new, it creates fear, and people move back. Oh, I don't know that thing. They're not acquainted with it. They don't understand it. So naturally, negativity is introduced into that conversation, right, or into that environment. But let us take the negativity to be our inspiration. Let us take those negative comments to say, look, the reason why that person is negative is simply because they don't understand it. Because under the lack of understanding creates fear and it creates doubt, like I said earlier. But the thing is this, right? We need to understand that the foundation. Yeah. The foundation of an agreement is what? It's a disagreement. We must first disagree so that everybody can state what their positions are. And it's always a good thing to ask a question when you don't understand. But sometimes, and most times, read. Go to the website and read. We Liberians must rise up. We have to rise up and take control. We're educated now. We're experienced. We're empowered economically, financially, academically. We are empowered. We have all of the expertise, the experience working in one of the most industrialized economies and countries in the world. So what are we going to do with all of these assets? All of the intellectual property, let me just put the right word to it. All of this intellectual property that Dwalu, Fatima, and Ava have, what are they going to do with it? Die with it? No, we've got to put it to work. And the reason why they're creating this mastermind called the LDEF is so that we can harness all of this expertise, all of this experience, all of this know-how, all of this money, and fund it and direct it to bring about transformational industrial change in the country. The rubber sector is over almost 100 years. Firestone came to Liberia in 1926. Yeah. We're 1 year away. Yeah. This is 2025. They came 1926.
What have we benefited?
Again, simply because we never invested in the value-added segment. Ava always talks about it. We never added value to the rubber from the private sector. Jetty is not competing with Firestone because he's on his side. There's lead group of companies. I mean, we only have about, 4 rubber processing plants. And all 4 of them are challenged with electricity. Only Firestone, because they have their own hydro, their cost of production is significantly less. That's why they remain. That's why they continue to remain profitable. Very profitable.
Very profitable.
So that's why we now bring the knowledge with using alternative electricity or alternative energy, which is solar. You bundle 500 kilowatt or 1 megawatt solar with batteries on a 50 acre or 100 acre site, put in the LDEF, invest in a rubber line, you would transform the entire Liberian rubber sector, because private companies now would bring their rubber to you, sell it to you, you buy it, you process it, and you find your off-taker. You want to tell me that Ava with his experience cannot find off-takers for rubber, for TSR, technically specified rubber? He can find them.
Of course, they will look for you.
They will look for you. With the expertise that you have, voila. I mean, these are the things I'm talking about. And I wish Liberian in the US having money wouldn't want to invest in such an instrument for a long-term investment. You will be a fool not to participate in it.
Yes.
Go ahead,
this is the first event, guys. This is the flyer for the first event. If you're here closer to like Providence, Worcester, Lowell, Massachusetts, and Boston itself, it will be held on the 31st. It's an in-person event. You can save your seat. You go to Eventbrite. You can save your seat. It's a black tie event. Every single LDEF event will be a black tie event. Get your beautiful dress. Get a wife. Get a girlfriend. Whoever you get, come over. Let's talk about Liberia in a way that is not political, but in a way that gives us some power in our own country. So we'll be coming there answering your questions in person. If you want to buy a share that night, we will set up the table. You can purchase in person that night. The goal is to come to this community, because some of our old people say, oh, Mr. Dwalu, I don't know the internet thing. We will come to you. We will bring the message so we can raise this money. We got to raise this $25 million. I know we can do way more, but we minimally, we got to raise it $25 million so we can create the infrastructure that we are talking about, to build the power grid, to have the systems where we can create the jobs, where we can build the developmental system, where we can have different things going on. And as I'm about to leave you guys, I want to say this. About 10 years ago, I worked for a company called On Process Technology as a senior pricing analyst. They were trying to open a call center. And during the meeting, I brought up Liberia. Like as I said before, if you remember, we speak English. They got a lot of college graduates that are coming out. The goal was, and they said, well, why Liberia? Why you keep bringing up Liberia? I said, well, it's an English-speaking location. We got decent internet, or we can improve the internet system. And the company felt that it was too expensive to go to Liberia because we don't have the kind of high-power internet, and there was no electricity. We ended up moving the operation to Calcutta, India. I had to go over there to help them set up the system, and they employ almost 12,000 people out of Calcutta, India, with a call center. That if we had the power lines, if we had the cables, the internet cable, where they could have gone to Liberia, all these college graduates could have gotten jobs that were paying them. In Calcutta, it was like $300, $400 a month. But I would have rather it going to my own country. And I had some boys, but I had no means because we had nothing to do in Liberia. Yeah.
Infrastructure.
Yeah. So let me just add.
Yeah, go ahead.
People can see our very handsome CEO, Mr. Ansu over Travel. You'll see the form they're coming with, so y'all gotta represent it the same way. Wherever you got your last button on Joko, try to come to the event. It'll be a wonderful event. At this event, we also launch an annual activity that would participate. We'll be bringing to the people. We launched the top 25 Liberian businesses and the top 100 Liberian professionals. We have that list out for people on this day. We debut that, and we go on an annual basis to do that. And maybe we may even add other categories. But for now, those are the two lists we'll start with and share with people. And we'll probably put it in a booklet form subsequently for those who may want to buy that list to keep it as something memorial.
Reserve your seat.
This will be a wonderful event.
Reserve your seat.
Yes,
please.
reserve your spot. Come to this. The message will be strong. The networking will be strong. There will be other people there. We look for international partners that we can invite that may have some leanings towards Liberia. We'll try to reach out to some of our high net worth Liberians. That who make it there, or just
I will be there.
A little video message.
I will book today. I will book today. I will be there.
Doing business and stuff like that. So it'll be a wonderful event. We have the time there. Some people were talking about, some activities, and no, I don't see the actual physical time. Sorry.
The time is on the stop. It's from 6 to 11 p.m. It's on the 31st of May to give people enough time to purchase. You can go to Eventbrite and purchase and reserve your seat. We want it so organized. You come in, you're as if I took about seat number 7. If you want a special table, everything is detailed if you go to Eventbrite. Just go to Eventbrite. You will see Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund. You can reserve your seat. That $100 you're paying, your food is also included in the $100, by the way.
So it's a catered event. It's a catered event.
Yes.
Very
because
good.
in the hall, we rented a very top quality hall
course.
because
Of
I
course.
want a different kind of thinking. And we spend money to rent there. A different kind of thinking. It's a quality hall.
They say you got to spend money to make money.
Yeah, you got to spend money to make money. Yes.
It's not. I don't like to call it spending money. You're making an investment to get a return.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right.
So if
you can look at it that way. And now somebody asked about us doing a workshop. So we try to organize a daytime workshop for those. It will probably be from like 11 to 3 to give people time to sleep the night before and to get in time after the workshop for them to be able to go to their destination. So yes, we also organize a workshop during the day. At that time, we got to find a location, all of that, because it's not out there yet. But those are the 3 other things I wanted to add. So folks, this is an opportunity for us to really try to put ourselves on the map. Let's start to look in that direction and do these things that can make us, be successful in what we are doing.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you that I will be there. So let's do closing. We got 12 minutes. So Ava, who wants to go first? And I'll do
okay. I can go first.
I'll say you stay.
You gotta go. All right, go down.
You gotta run. So my people, y'all thank you coming plenty. I mean, I take over a lot of things. Kenam, Fatima, myself. Look, guys, this thing is we have to start somewhere. This is not a new idea, and this will fail if we don't support it. As I said this in the beginning, we have no room to make mistake and not do this right, because if this is not done right, it will be very difficult for the next 20, 30 years for any Liberian to trust anything. This is why one of the biggest fears that I do have, this is what I said, we cannot touch a dime of the money until the money is fully raised and the board of directors are set up, and then we can all decide collectively how this money is debited up or invested in Liberia. Think about this as a way to have an implant in the country. One thing I've committed to, one of the things we're going to do, everybody who buys shares under this operation, when we build the Liberian Diaspora Corporation headquarters, I want the name of every single person who bought share to be engraved on the granite stone for all the posterity. Let it be there for people to know that some Liberians care enough, sufficient enough to be able to invest their money into Liberia so we can create something that we can leave to our children to leave Liberia in a better place. Don't just think about this as an investment for money. Think about it as investing in your country to transform the direction of our society. And this is the entire aim. This is the aim. Remember the 4 things I spoke to you about. Initially, to make our shareholders money. Secondarily, to create jobs that expand the Liberian economy. Third, to have some influence, economic influence in our country. And fourth, to bring Liberian expertise back into the country. This is how we develop, and we will do it collectively. Thank you so much, Ozzy. And my brother, you come to the audience. Yeah, thank you, my man. Yeah, thank you, Blended.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Balu. Yes. So I just wanted to stress one point Fatima was making about, including women. Look, I believe Liberian women are smarter than Liberian men. I've said it for I don't know how many years. I sat in classroom with some of the most brilliant people who are women. I believe in America, there are more Liberian women working than Liberian men and in productive capacity than making money. So women got more money than men here in this country. And also women have a way of holding organizations, institutions accountable, I think, better than men, because sometimes our ego get in the way, our aggression get in the way. So we welcome as many women to participate in this as possible and be able to hold us accountable and be able to help us make this thing happen, bring the ideas to the table, bring their natural, organization and management skills to the table to help us make it happen. So, we just had one comment from Gabriel. I know Gabriel probably came late, but yes, Gabriel, we talked about incubation. We talked about building that ecosystem, that investment ecosystem in Liberia. We definitely will hold, investment in companies. We have our own companies, and that's the idea. That's the whole idea. You got it right there in summary. And, anytime, you're welcome to Business Talk to come and elaborate more or make the point. But that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make this thing happen and people like you who have gone on the ground, seeing the opportunities, seeing how things are being done, and seeing and understanding how they can be improved. You are very welcome to participate. The same as anybody out there. I'm available. I'm accessible at any time. And, usually if I miss your call, I'll respond to you typically in less than 12 hours. That's typically what I do. So, we look forward to working with you. Kenan, this show has been great. I mean, for us, you more our business developer and marketer than ourselves. You really, contributed, and your passion in terms of expressing the potential of the Liberia Diaspora Equity Fund was very strong. We're definitely looking forward to you participating on May 31st in
I will be there. I will be there. Rest assured, we will be there.
In Massachusetts when we're having the program. So we're just excited. It's an exciting time for Liberia. There's a huge amount of opportunities for Liberians with LDF or without LDF. The opportunities are there. So let's see how we can make Liberians an active part of our own economy, create jobs, strengthen our balance of payments and balance of trade in Liberia so that we are on the rise in terms of our economic standing in our region and on the continent. We have the opportunity to be the food basket for many countries that don't have, the ability to grow food. We have that ability. We got the sunlight, we got the land, we got the labor. We need to add a little bit of technology, creativity, mechanization to make these things happen. So thank you for the platform. Thank you for the effort, and we look forward to engaging next time. Goodbye.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So from me to everyone out there, I just want to say thank you to the LDEF team for participating on the show today, where they were able to present to all of us, to each of you who watched, who listened, about what the Liberia Diaspora Equity Fund is. I believe that this is one of the most ingenious and creative ideas that we Liberians in the diaspora have been able to initiate, to birth, to bring forward, that will bring about economic transformation and industrialization in our country, where we in the diaspora will be able to create a private capital instrument or device that will be able to invest, to participate in a meaningful and positive way, to bring about economic transformation, job creation, investing in small, medium, and large Liberian businesses, to create jobs and provide opportunities for all Liberians from Maryland County to Lofa County, from Cape Mount all the way into Nimba and Grand Jide. The Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund is something that I strongly believe in. I myself will be investing. I myself will be in the Worcester, Providence, Massachusetts area on May 31st. And my wife and myself, we will be investing in the LDEF. We will be a meaningful investor. We will not just buy 1, 2, or 3 shares. I will not tell you how much I will buy, but I will want to, I intend to be a meaningful contributor to this vision, because I believe in the vision. I believe that we Liberians must play a greater role in our economy. We must have a bigger stake in our economy. The economics can transform the politics. There's no other way for the politics in our country to be transformed and changed unless we build our economic sector, our private sector. When the private sector can become the kingmaker, then we can decide who becomes the king. When the private sector can decide who become the lawmakers, then the private sector will be the kingmaker. This is what we have to do. This is what we must do. The only way to transform our country is through the private sector. And the Liberia Diaspora Equity Fund is the right instrument to achieve this goal. So for all the Liberians in the diaspora, in the USA, in Canada, and in Europe and other parts of the world, go to the Liberian Diaspora website. It's right there on the screen. Click it, learn, read, educate, acquaint yourself, become more, gain in understanding and wisdom in what this instrument is. Invest in it. This is what we need. Let us not ask our country what that country can do for us, but let's ask ourselves, What can we do for Liberia to transform this country, to industrialize this country, to create jobs, to get off of foreign aid that creates dependency and destroys the ingenuity and the creativity of every Liberian? Only the private sector can do this. And the Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund is the right instrument. Let's get behind it. Let's invest in it. I want to express my sincere thanks and appreciation to Radio Joy Africa for relaying our program all across Upper and Lower Margibi counties and into Bang County. And I want to also express my thanks and appreciation to Radio Kakata 101.7 FM for also relaying the program all across Upper and Lower Margibi, all the way into Bang County. So to all of those who are listening today, small Liberian businesses, big Liberian businesses, help is on the way. The Liberia Equity Development Fund, Investment Fund is coming to invest in Liberian businesses. So as we say on Business Talk, get your papers together, start reviewing your financials, get everything organized, because once this plane lands with the Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund, once this team is established on the Liberia side, they will be going from county to county on a road trip to educate, to inform, and to enlighten all the small business people in every county why they are there. And we will be investing in Liberian businesses. So let's get on board, everybody. Buy a share, $90 for a share, $10 for processing, comes up to $100. It's a small investment to make a long-term transformational change in the land of liberty that we love so much. Thank you once again. Have a great weekend, and we will see you next week. Thank you to Love FM for broadcasting, also sharing all of those who shared the broadcast today. I love you guys. We'll see you next week. Again, Business Talk is where everything happens. We will continue talking about the Liberia Diaspora Equity Investment Fund every Saturday, how it will play a role in business in our economy. Thank you. I love you. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your time with your family. Goodbye.